Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the McDonCast, the funnest podcast in town.
The only podcast around.
That's right, we've switched which one of us is doing which part of the intro now.
I don't even know what the intro is
You hated it when you used to say that part. Now that's the only part you're saying. The only podcast around. I would say we'd say the funnest podcast in town, and then I'd say the only podcast around, and you didn't like that part. Now that's the only part you're saying.
Yeah, whatever. What are we even doing anymore? How many episodes of this have we done?
This is 109. Why did our last one get so many views, though?
Give us Jesus.
I hope we got some subscribers out of that. Alrighty. Anyways, hello everybody and welcome back. We have quite a stacked news week, like a ridiculously stacked news week, like way more news than basically like 3 E3s happened in like
really
a
like
row.
one E3,
well,
not
one
even
E3
a
happened,
full E3,
split into several different days, which is
what
E3.
normally E3 was.
Yeah, but
And
they announced a
was-
lot of really weird stuff.
There was an absence of two major companies, so really it's just a lesser E3.
It's like 2/3 of E3.
And we got
And also
some...
Apple did some really weird stuff while we were gone.
WWDC.
WWDC happened.
They revealed the dumbest product they've ever manufactured.
It's gonna be so cool.
What is... have they ever done a device that's dumber than this one?
Every time Apple makes a device, it becomes the industry standard for that device. So no, because everything they make becomes
But they only make like 3 things.
They make the MacBooks, they make the Macs, they make the iPads.
The MacBooks
make
and
the
the Macs
iPhones.
don't count as 2 separate
Yes,
things.
they do. And they make the Apple Watch. Those are the 5 things they make. And occasionally headphones.
Didn't they used to make iPods?
That's what an iPhone is.
Oh, you know what the dumbest thing they did before was? You know that stand they made that cost like $1,000?
They still sell that. It's
yeah, exactly.
$700.
That was the dumbest thing they've done up to.
That's
to
just
now.
a monitor
Until
stand.
now.
And you don't even have to use that monitor stand with the monitor that they made it for.
I love $1,000 stand.
I think this thing is... I think what they made is actually really, really cool. It's just way overpriced.
I know you do, because you think everything Apple does is amazing.
No, because I want to live in Tatooine land.
Why?
Because that's cool.
You want to live in the desert
I
planet
want to live in
run
Star
by
Wars.
a crime syndicate filled with slaves.
I'm sure they'll have a Coruscant one too.
You want to live in the scum of a major overcrowded city.
Why would you want to live in Tucker, the part that's nice, the fancy part where the rich people live. I don't want to live in the.
Do you want to live in
a
scum
weird
pit floating temple?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's weird. Okay, anyway.
Says the guy who doesn't want to live in Star Wars land.
No, I want to live in reality where things are real.
Well, then you're in the wrong business.
And where I don't go to the same planet over and over again because Star Wars only has like 3 locations. And they just keep going to the same 3 locations over and over and over again.
Well, the point is, they made a headset. We'll talk about it.
But first, Sam. Well, actually, and we're later on in the show, we'll talk about the new Transmorphers film.
Yes, we also saw Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
Yes,
and the fall of my sanity.
Sam, we'll get to it, but spoilers. Not for the movie,
like
for our opinions. Sam was very, very vitriolically angry over this film.
I wasn't angry. I was more just like dumbfounded. Like someone made this.
Okay.
Anyway,
I had
let's
less
talk about
extreme opinions.
Let's talk about how CW canceled all 4 of their newest
No,
shows and
Sam.
only renewed 1.
They renewed 1. So after months of deliberation, the CW, which is now become...
Also, by the way, I called this outcome. You said they weren't going to do it. I was right.
Did I say they weren't going to do it?
Yeah, you said that they were going to renew Gotham Knights because it was like newer, and I was like, no, why would they do that? They're going to renew Superman.
I was just thinking that Superman was more expensive and they were trying to save money, so I was thinking Gotham Knights would be the one to survive. Anyway, so after months of deliberation, the CW has decided to renew Superman and Lois for a 4th season that will consist of 10 episodes, which is 3 shorter than this current season, which I believe is still airing. I believe they still are airing season 3. I watched Superman and Lois. I watched the first season, and I was like, this is pretty quality television. And then I started the second one, and then they kept doing like weird breaks in between episodes. Like they would air one.
Like The Flash, where they would just like go on a break.
They would air an episode, and then like the show would just be gone for like 3 weeks, and then air like a chunk of 4, and then be gone another 4 weeks. It was
so they were doing a Steven Universe.
It's because there were so many VFX shots that they weren't finishing the episodes fast enough, and so
that many VFX
they would just
shots.
essentially just be finishing them. They would be releasing them as they were being finished.
How is it that for like the past 30 years we've been making Superman TV shows, and this one was like, oh no, too hard?
Because the other Superman TV shows were not nearly as quality as this one.
Yeah, but the like technology has gotten better now. Like logically,
yeah,
those,
but
those two things should go like.
Have you ever actually seen like Smallville?
No, no one has seen Smallville.
A lot of people have seen.
I'm talking about the other Superman shows,
like Lois and Clark.
It's probably more entertaining than Smallville.
Okay, well, Lois and Clark was mostly about Lois and Clark. There was barely any Superman happening.
Well, this show is called that.
Smallville had was baby Superman, and so he didn't fly or like use any of his powers. Like he would just like use his super strength, and he would just like throw pipes around, and that was like all he ever did. And then this show actually has like full Superman flying around, saving people, shooting lasers out of his eyes.
I mean, Supergirl was doing that.
True, but the effects on Superman and Lois are better than the effects on Supergirl.
Oh, much better.
Huh. Supergirl?
2 months of delay better?
No, Supergirl is like Batman and Robin. Superman and Lois is like Batman Begins, like that kind of leap. The last remaining DC show on the network, and also the most expensive one they've ever made. Part of their agreement for renewing the show.
How is it more expensive than Legends of Tomorrow? That whole show was like
because Legends of Tomorrow was like recycling like old sets, like basic costumes, like.
Yeah, but they had like CGI dinosaurs and they lived in a CGI spaceship.
Well, you've never seen Superman and Lois, so you don't understand like how much of a jump the production.
I mean, like
is.
in terms of like scale, how is it? Like Superman isn't. I mean, yeah, he fights like big robots sometimes, but
the
like
scale is
he's
smaller,
not usually fighting
the
big
effects
CGI
are
monsters.
better. And like Legends of Tomorrow, they were always just like going to like the Old West, and so the studio would just like pull out whatever like cowboy costumes they had.
Yeah, but they
storage.
still had like a guy whose power was like set himself on fire. Like they had some like VFX,
but they barely ever used any of their powers in Legends of Tomorrow.
That's true. The metal guy never uses his powers.
No, they never used any of their powers ever because it was too expensive.
It's a good quality. Remember when Hawkgirl and Hawkman were on that show?
Remember when they were setting up Hawkgirl as one of the most important characters in the universe?
Then they forgot she existed.
At the end of Legends of Tomorrow season 1, she just flies away and is never mentioned ever again in any of the shows.
Even though she dated Cisco for like several months.
That was just to set up Legends, though. They didn't really care about that.
No, but like, even in The Flash, they didn't bring her up again.
Remember in The Flash where they gave Cisco like 5 different love interests?
And none of them ever panned out.
One of them, the first one was, remember when they did Golden Glider?
No.
She did one episode. She was also another character.
I don't remember who that is at all.
That was Captain Cold's sister, and she had a gun that shot like gold.
What? Huh?
Yeah. You don't remember? This was season 1.
Why would you become a criminal if you have a gun that shoots gold?
She was already a criminal, and then she got the gun that shot.
But then when that
it was
solve
like
your criminalism,
so she would shoot someone, and then it would
just sell the gold. You have a gold maker.
Sam, don't ask. The character's name is Golden Glider.
Well, she does have a golden. Does she have a golden glider?
No, she just has a gun that shoots gold, and she rides a motorcycle.
And she's just really dumb.
No, that was another character that she just like drove away on a motorcycle at the end of the episode, and then is never mentioned again. Then they gave him. Then they did Hot Girl, and then they gave him. Remember the girl vibe?
Yeah, he was dating himself for a while.
Girl vibe, and then they killed her off screen with like a body double because they couldn't get the actress back on the show. I thought she just
broke up with him.
No.
Like, oh yeah, didn't she send him like a space box? That was like, yeah.
No, they killed her off screen.
Yeah, but she also broke up with him with a
she probably did, but they killed that character off screen like because they couldn't get the actor back. And then he dated like the photographer girl, who they also tried to make one of the main characters, and then they quickly realized they didn't know what to do with her, and so they wrote her off the show.
They're just bad at.
Yeah. What do you mean I'm bad? I didn't do it.
No, I said they.
So yeah, budget cuts are coming to the show. They're saying they're going to cut down on the number of supporting cast members. The show currently has 12 series regulars. Apparently, they're all going to stay on, but a lot of the supporting characters are going to be cut. They're also going to focus more on the family drama stuff going forward in order to
Yeah,
save
because
on,
they have to since
on the
they're not
VFX.
using any other characters.
Their other part of the agreement was that they're going to share streaming rights to the series. It's currently exclusively on Max, but they'll probably get some of the episodes on the CW app or whatever it is.
Wow.
We also renewed All American Homecoming for a third season. That was a spinoff of All American, which is a show that's really popular on Netflix, which is the reason it gets made. And then Gotham Knights was, of course, canceled after one season. Rest in peace, Gotham Knights.
I saw people on Twitter reacting to the series is getting canceled. Like, why did they renew Walker, Texas Ranger? No one watches that show. I'm like, that's the only show on the network. Like, people just actually don't know that that's the only viable show on their network.
That's because, again, it's watched entirely by old people who don't talk about anything.
Yeah, they don't use Twitter, so you never hear about what they're watching.
Mm-hmm. But, of course, that means that every new series they introduced in the last network TV season, none of them survived till next season.
No, because they're all terrible.
Winchesters, Walker Independence, Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights
all
should
dead.
never... That was... I think that might be the single worst concept for, like, a network TV show that's ever been pitched.
The concept isn't bad.
No, the concept is bad.
The problem was that they had, like, the F-tier Batman characters.
They were not even
utilize.
Batman characters. They were made
and
up.
half of them were made up.
That's the problem with the pitch, is that they have they had in-universe equivalents to those characters that they could have used, and they chose to like use random nonsense ones that they made up.
It would have been a fine show. Like, you could make a good Gotham Knights show if you just use like
The Gotham Knights?
the actual Gotham. Like, if you're doing a show with Nightwing, Robin, Red Hood, and Batgirl, that's a good that's a good concept for a show.
The Joker's daughter, some guy named Pete, and like two other random people.
Dent, Batman's boring milquetoast son,
not his cool son,
not any
who's
of
a ninja,
not any of his
but
cool
his lame
ones,
son,
but his lame ones who didn't even know he was Batman. I don't even know how you would.
Okay,
how would you not
Batman
know?
tells like every single child he meets that he is Batman. There are so
Batman
many.
tells everybody he meets. Period.
There are
that he's
so many
Batman.
like children that he is like taken in that know he's Batman. How would it feel?
How lame do you have to be the one he didn't tell?
To be the one that Batman didn't tell.
They had
he told the circus carny before he told you. Two of them.
There was also Harry Kelly, but not full out Robin, just normal Harry Kelly with green glasses. And then there was another one. So memorable, I didn't even remember who it was. Oh, and Harvey Dent was on the show, but not Two-Face, just normal.
Just
Harvey
regular lawyer man Harvey
just
Dent.
normal white bread Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent, attorney at law. All right.
What did we? Oh, they did the Court of Owls on that show. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see any of that show at all.
No, I didn't watch it. I just saw that they ended up doing the Court of Owls on the show.
Well, that's what you do when you don't.
Colin and Harper Row. Those were the other two main characters. You know, those beloved Batman characters.
I've heard of Harper Row.
They're both in the comics.
Yeah.
But they're recent characters, and they don't really do anything.
I feel like they were maybe in Young Justice.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, because I know I've heard that name.
Harper
before.
Row becomes a superhero
orphan?
in the comics. She becomes Bluebird, who's just like a
she's
girl
in she's in Fortnite. Yeah, they put that character in Fortnite. She's the regular woman in like a blue suit.
Just once, I'd like to go. We've done this show 108 or 9 times.
It all connects.
Can
to
we
Fortnite.
please do one episode where you
We've got to
don't
make
mention
sure every
Fortnite?
single episode is connected to Fortnite.
It's so sad. Please. Oh, Stephanie Brown was on the show as well.
Is that
is
not
she the
just a
most
normal human
notable
being?
of? Yeah. When Stephanie Brown is like the biggest name.
It sounds like just a regular name.
She's a spoiler.
Yeah, everyone knows spoiler.
She was also a Batgirl for like a week.
Every like DC character who's
She
a
was,
woman and doesn't have powers is Batgirl for like a week.
She was Batgirl when they crippled Barbara Gordon.
Right. Okay, anyway, what's next?
Well, Sam, when we talk about a little bit of DC, let's get into some Marvel and Disney. So, Marvel Studios and Disney have decided to push back multiple films on the theatrical release schedule for a couple of reasons. The primary one, of course, being the Writers Guild strike, which has halted development on multiple things. Specifically, Thunderbolts and Blade were ready to start shooting, but are now halted due to the strike. They're going to not pick up until the strike ends. Disney also hopes to spend more time developing the scripts, do more time in the development stages around the scripts in order to boost the quality of their Marvel films, because they've been really terrible recently because they keep shooting the movies before they have any scripts written.
Well,
which
that's
is
a
always
really good
smart
strategy.
It's never not worked. I don't understand why they are stopping, honestly.
I wonder if this will force them to stop doing that.
No.
Or do you think they'll go full steam ahead
Honestly,
and
I'm
just
shocked
abandon the
they're
idea
not
of scripts
incentivized
altogether?
to do it more.
Yeah, just abandon scripts. Like, who needs a script anymore?
Just show up on the day and you just go, hey, Anthony Mackie, just improvise
Just make some
lines.
stuff up.
Whatever you think you would say here, just say it. And then the things will start exploding around you, and then you'll go, oh no, it's exploding. So here's how everything's been moved. So get ready for another Tucker Reads a Lot of Dates.
All right, guys, it's
In a
ready
row.
for Tucker Reads some numbers.
So one movie actually moved up. Deadpool 3 was supposed to come out November 8th, 2024. It is now going to kick off the summer in May. That's going to now come out May 3rd, 2024. Deadpool kicking off the summer movie season.
Interesting.
Do you think it'll actually be rated R then?
Probably.
I'm thinking not. Not with this date.
I'm thinking they know that Deadpool
Their
is
big
an
summer
R-rated.
kickoff blockbuster, I don't think they're going to let that be rated R.
I'm thinking they know that they don't have a...
I don't think they do, though, because they already did that Deadpool PG-13 thing.
Yeah, and everyone thought that was really weird.
But it still worked. And so they might do it.
It kind of worked. Like, everyone was like, why did you make this?
To see if you would work in PG-13.
I mean, he kind of worked, but they had to jump through so many, like, gimmicks to make that work. Like, the whole joke of that whole thing was that he was trying to make it PG-13. Like, the character himself was trying to do that. If you take away the framing device, it just looks sad.
Maybe this one will have a framing device.
But then you're just doing it again.
We also have children's friendly character Wolverine in this film, Sam.
Oh, yes, who has never been in any R-rated projects.
No. I don't think
Or,
he
like,
has.
the only other R-rated mainstream superhero movie ever.
I love that movie made money so that at that time Fox was just like, oh, we'll make all of these X-Men movies rated R.
I mean, that would have been fine. They could have just done that. If
Eh.
they wanted to.
Remember Dark Phoenix?
Do I remember it? No. Did I see it? Yes.
We saw that in the theater.
I remember there's the part where Nightcrawler stabs someone in the neck with his tail.
Was he in that movie?
He was in that movie.
I thought he wasn't in that one.
No, he was how they got on the spaceship, remember? He, like, hugs them all, and then...
Oh, right. He bloops them over there.
Yeah.
I forgot they even went to space in that movie.
Yeah, that's how
Remember the villains of
Dark
that
Phoenix
movie were
came.
aliens?
Yep, but they were supposed to be Skrulls, but they weren't.
They couldn't do it, so they had to...
But they still shape-shifted
They
and
were
everything
Skrulls.
exactly like Skrulls.
No, I just love that series had never introduced like any sort of cosmic or aliens or like magic. It was all just all the mutant powers.
They just threw them all into this
at the
one
very
movie.
end. They were just like, there's aliens now, and there's alien space magic. Screw it.
Dark Phoenix timeline. The X-Men timeline is not a real.
The timeline itself is not that complicated. It's the fact that
No,
they
it's
just
pretty
didn't.
complicated.
No,
They straight up Zelda themselves. They have like 3 concurrent timelines because
There
it
was-
splits in one movie.
there was really like 2. But the problem was not that the timeline was complicated. It's the fact that they didn't bother to like make sure that they hadn't already introduced a character in another movie before they put him in like a movie that took place before that.
Yeah, and they do that. They did that all the time.
Like they made X-Men First Class, which was just a prequel to every other X-Men movie, and they put Emma Frost in that movie, not realizing that they had already put that character
In a different
in
movie.
X-Men Origins Wolverine as a different person. Like it's not even that it was complicated. They just didn't bother to ever check anything.
They just straight up didn't remember what they were doing.
No, they had no idea what was going on. Because like that, technically, that series it's all linear until X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah, it Zelda's
and then it
itself.
resets.
No, it doesn't reset. There's 3 branching timelines from that event.
No, there isn't.
Yes, there are.
Explain that to me, Sam.
I'm not super familiar with it because I don't really care about X-Men that much. But there's 3 different timelines. There's the one that like branches into Apocalypse. There's the one that branches into The Last Stand, and then there's the one that branches into because Dark Phoenix is Apocalypse timeline. There's the other timeline with like X-Men 1, 2, and 3. There's 3 different timelines.
So it goes X-Men from 2000, right?
No, it goes X-Men First Class.
Oh,
then X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
Then Days of Future Past.
No.
Yes. Well, technically it happens in the future and the past, but the past part of Days of Future Past happens there. Then there's X-Men's 1, 2, and 3, which follow one of those timelines. Then there's X-Men The Last Stand, which is like its own thing.
Well, technically, the past parts of Days of Future Past are all changed in that movie with Wolverine being there.
Yes, but it takes place in the past.
The events from Days of Future Past, if there was no interference by anyone, that is what was canon in that first timeline.
Yes, and that's the timeline we see at the beginning of Days of Future Past.
The past, a version of the events from Days of Future Past. X-Men Origins Wolverine, X-Men, X2, and then X-Men The Last Stand, and then the Wolverine, and then the future stuff from Days of Future Past happens.
Yeah, at the end of that timeline.
And then in Days of Future Past, they alter back in the 70s.
And that's where you get the Apocalypse.
And that
timeline.
changes everything. And then it's Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix.
That's it.
And then the very ending of Days of Future Past takes place in the future of that timeline.
Yeah.
Where everyone's alive. Which I don't know why they did, because it meant like all of these characters are okay because we've already seen the future. What are we doing?
It doesn't. No one knows.
No one knows. And then Logan is its own thing.
Logan's the Breath of the Wild. Logan's the one where they were like, it takes place at the end of all of them.
Well, because in Logan they say that there hasn't been a New Mutant born since like 2003 or whatever.
Except for the ones that were in a lab and were all born.
Those were like weird genetic amalgamations. They're saying like,
well, X-23 was, but some of them were born.
They're saying they weren't like born in the wild.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Which doesn't make any sense at all.
No, because they say in the movie they like eliminated the mutants by like putting stuff in the food supply.
Sure.
But like, how would they do that on a global scale?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they like contaminated the wheat supply. Maybe they did a
you'd have to like eliminate world hunger.
Maybe they did a Jurassic World.
No, but like even then, like all the poor countries in Africa where you're not bothering to like help with their starvation, they would still be giving birth to mutants. It's not like the company would all of a sudden be like, guys, we're going to start providing food to the whole world. They would just keep selling the food as normal. They just put all their weird chemicals in it. It's still have mutants growing birth everywhere else. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, maybe they just like they genetically modified fish and then like put them in the ocean or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, back to reading dates. Captain America, Brave New World. They switched the title, by the way. It was New World Order. Now it's Brave New World.
Yeah, that's very like dystopian.
Which one? Or both?
That it went from New World Order to Brave New World. Like, if you were trying to start a New World Order, would you not call it, this is the Brave New World? Like, in order to, like...
Well, what's weird is, like, New World Order sounds bad, and Brave New World sounds good.
That's what I'm saying.
So is
it trying to stop the good things from happening?
Is it good or is it bad? I mean, the New World Order originally was the Nazis. So, like...
That's bad.
That's bad.
You don't want that.
But
Captain America,
now it's a
that.
Brave New World.
That's
so,
what
like,
I'm saying.
what does
That's
that
kind of
mean?
weird that we switched it.
Anyway, doesn't matter. That was supposed to come out on May 3rd, 2024. That's now coming out on July 26th, 2024.
That's not even that big of a difference.
Thunderbolts was supposed to come out July 26th, 2024. That is now coming out December 20th, 2024.
Thunderbolts is not real.
So that's going to be a fun Christmas adventure.
Sure, it will be very Christmas themed, like Hawkeye.
Blade was supposed to come out September 6th, 2024. That's not coming out February 14th, 2025.
Blade will never come out. Let's stop pretending like it will.
So Blade was supposed to come out around Halloween, and then it was supposed to come out in like the summer, and then it was back to the Halloween, and now it's Valentine's Day.
It's never coming out.
Mahershala Ali will be 65 when he finally gets to shoot Blade. Fantastic Four which apparently they had a set cast, and then like it all blew up, and it was costing too much money, and now they're going back to like the drawing board. Nobody knows what's going on over there. But that was supposed to come out February 14th, 2025. Okay. That's not coming out May 2nd, 2025.
Don't do Fantastic Four. They're always lame and bad.
But it's one of the only things we haven't tried yet.
No, because see, you have like 1 billion X-Men characters you haven't used. Try those.
Well, we're going to do Deadpool, and that's going to have the X-Men in it.
Does not count.
Why does that one not count? We're bringing back all your favorite Fox X-Men characters. They're going to bring back
they're only going to be in that one movie. And then
they're probably going to bring back James
They're
going
to pick and choose which ones they want to be in the MCU.
Patrick Stewart's not allowed to quit. He's going to be in everything.
Patrick Stewart
is still going to be Professor X.
Going to die soon. You don't have a lot more time.
Remember when he dies in Logan, and then he was in...
Yeah, it's very sad.
And then he was like a wimpy cartoon version of himself in Doctor Strange 2.
He goes...
And then he gets his neck snapped and dies.
Remember when he's the most powerful telepath?
Remember when he
Scarlet Witch just goes, "You dead," and he
Remember when he goes into Wanda's mind, and he's just like... He's like randomly wearing like a turtleneck sweater.
He's doing his Steve Jobs impression.
Yeah, he's just like Steve Jobs for no reason.
Hey, it's better Steve Jobs than Steve Handjobs.
And then he's floating around in his big yellow shoebox.
Well, that's because in the comics he had a big yellow.
No, that's because in the cartoon show. And for some reason, that's like their blueprint for how to do the X-Men in the MCU. To do the 90s cartoon.
I think big yellow chairs are not that bad.
Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. Which may or may not even have a hired screenwriter at this point.
Or a hired main villain.
It's got a director, or, yeah, who knows if Kang will even be in that movie.
Oh, did you see the, the other guy, what's his face?
Tenaquerta from Namor from Black Panther.
Also got accused
of that. Disney, I thought you were supposed to vet these people. May 2nd, 2025. That is now May 1st, 2026. That got pushed back in the year. And of course, Secret Wars got pushed from May 2026 to May 7th, 2027.
Okay.
That'll mean it's going to come out 19 years after Iron Man 1.
Cool.
20 years of
20 years.
Marvel.
100 years, Rick and Morty. 100 years.
And
it's becoming real, though.
Well, I don't know. Did you see Justin Roiland was acquitted of all that stuff, by the way?
They dropped the charges.
No, he was acquitted in court.
I think they dropped...
He was proved not guilty of all.
He was?
Yeah.
I saw that they just dropped
They haven't rehired him, though. Probably because he was barely working anyway.
Yeah, probably because apparently he was just not a good employee. He was just not
working. And then that's all the Marvel stuff that got delayed. So pretty much they just shoved everything back. Like... by one date. This Avengers movies got pushed back each year, and then everything else just slid back one.
Yeah, the charges were dropped against Justin.
They were dropped?
As a result of having insufficient evidence.
Yeah. And then the Avatar movies, those each got pushed back. This is not because these all have finished scripts. These are pushed back.
They just take a billion.
They're taking
years.
Forever. Woo!
Big shock when when 99% of your movie is fake. It's hard to make the movie.
Avatar.
Remember in Avatar 2 when that lady was boxing in a robot suit, which would not help you gain muscle at all?
No. Avatar 3...
And used it to drink coffee also?
Yeah, I remember that was really funny. Avatar 3 was supposed to come out December 20, 2024. That is now coming out December 19th, 2025. So that's a year. Avatar 4 was supposed to come out December 18th, 2026. That is now coming out December 21st, 2029. That got pushed back 3 years. Avatar 5 was supposed to come out December 22nd, 2028. That is now going to come out December 19th, 2031. And that'll be a 3-year gap. So let's see. It'll be 3 years in between Avatars 2 and 3. 4 years in between 3 and 4. And then another 2 years in between 4 and 5. Remember when these were supposed to come out like every other year?
Yep. And then there was the whole Star Wars thing too, and then
the Star Wars they didn't give up on. They just, for the life of them, could not figure out how to put a Star Wars movie together. But that means Avatar will have, what's that, like 13 years?
in
No.
between each
No,
entry?
no. How long at that point? 20, 23,
The first one
23
came out in
years?
2011.
In 2008
2008?
or 2009?
I thought it was like 2010 or
I
2009.
think it was 2009. Yeah, 2009.
Yeah, 2009. Okay.
So that'll be 22 years of Avatar films.
And only 3 of them have released in that time. Compare that to Disney, Marvel, who has produced like 30 movies in 19 years.
2031. That feels like what is happening?
You know, we're closer right now to the year 2040 than to the year 2001.
I don't like that. Stop it. Go back. Rewind. No.
Too late.
So you mentioned Star Wars, Sam. 3 Star Wars movies have also been dated. They wiped
dated
3 off the calendar and they put 3 new ones on there.
Oh, that's a good sign.
May 22nd, 2026, meaning it'll come out 3 weeks after Avengers Kang Dynasty.
So that is actually not the real.
So that's a really good plan. December 18th, 2026, meaning we're going to get 2 Star Wars movies in the same year. And then another one a year later on December 17th, 2027.
Me smells bad things.
So, despite the fact that it's been almost 3 years since a new Star Wars movie, and by the time the next one comes out, 7 years almost since the last Star Wars movie, they haven't learned any lessons at all. They're going to do the same old crap they always did. They saw, okay, guys, we're doing too many Star Wars movies. So here's what we'll do. We'll do 2 in the same year instead of 1.
Good plan.
And we're going to do the same thing they did with Solo, where Solo came out like 3 weeks after Infinity War. New Star Wars. 3 weeks after Kang Dynasty.
Good plan. Only good plans in the building.
So my guess is the May 22nd one is probably the Rey one. The December one is probably the Mandalorian one, and then the December 2027 one is probably the James Mangold one. Although the James Mangold one is
What
gonna be
happened
canceled.
to Skeleton Crew? Is that coming out ever?
That's supposed to come out this year.
What's going on with that?
I don't know. Disney Plus is.
Why don't we ever hear
Did
anything
you see
about that? Ever?
Did you see that that article that came out that said Andor cost $250 million for season 1?
How many episodes were there? 10?
12.
12? Yeah, that's about right.
It was the most expensive Star Wars show they made.
Yeah, but it's operating on like Game of Thrones season 1 budget, so that's like not even that weird.
150. Oh, whatever. Math is not coming.
That's
out.
like an average of like $1.2 million per episode, or no, $10.2 million an episode.
I don't think that's true.
There's 12 episodes. Oh, wait, did you say it was 200 million?
$250 million.
Okay, so 20 million an episode. That's a little expensive.
Yeah. Oh, they dated more stuff also. Moana, June 27, 2025. That's the remake.
Okay.
That means we're 2 years away, Sam. A meager 2 years away from
The Rock really needs
The
a
Rock.
paycheck. He needs it right now.
He needs a job so bad. They dated Fast X Part 2. They gave it a release date for April 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And so when is that Hobbs movie gonna come out then?
I guess in 2024.
If it's gonna be 2
yeah, it'll be
years-
next year.
But how? They're not shooting it. It doesn't have a release date.
How long
It
do you
doesn't have a
think
title. It doesn't have a director.
How long do you think it takes to make a fast movie?
I don't know. I
we
mean,
could make a fast movie. We could do that.
Like the
very
quantity
quickly.
of VFX. Like he's gonna have to put that. Like that means it has to come out like in April, like this coming April.
Yeah, that's.
He's got like
that's a good amount
11
of time.
months to make the entire movie.
He could do it. I believe in Vin Diesel. He can do. He can
It's
pull
not
it off.
even Vin Diesel. It's just The
He
Rock.
He could do it.
Unless they're gonna make
Anything is possible.
unless the interlude for Fast 10 will be after Fast 10 Part 2 already comes out.
Definitely will.
What are we doing? Who's in charge and why are they
Vin Diesel's
so dumb?
in charge, and he's dumb because he's got
Okay,
3
guys,
ions. In
here's
his
what we're
brain.
gonna do. We're gonna make Star Wars, and then we're gonna make Return of the Jedi, and then after Return of the Jedi comes out, we're gonna do Empire Strikes Back. It's gonna be a really, really good cliffhanger for a movie that already came out. Like what? A whole movie will have happened in between them. And they'll just pretend like everyone's seen it.
Only one man could pull that off.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah, him too, but Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel's not in it.
Yeah, but he's gonna be a producer.
He's a producer, but, you know, I don't think him and The Rock are going to be able to work together.
He's gonna be the director.
You think The Rock will direct it? You think Vin Diesel will direct it? He'll be too busy shooting Fast 10 Part 2.
Let's do both at the same time.
At the same time. He should direct Fast 10 Part 2.
He should.
I want him so badly to direct Fast 10 Part 2.
He probably will.
No, he isn't. It's going to be the same guy who did this last one.
Yeah. That guy's name is Vin Diesel.
I'm pretty sure all that director does is just like show up to set and then be like, okay, I'm going to point the camera this way.
What do you say, Vin?
Whatever you want to do, Vin.
Oh, you want to change the whole movie? Right, whatever you say,
You want to rewrite the script right now? That's fine.
Well, let's do it. We'll get that.
You're not part of the WGA. You can do whatever you want, Vin. Because the strike's going on. They should have Vin write the script.
I think that would, yeah. I don't know about. Are you allowed to do that?
Not a member of the guild, I don't think. I don't think he's ever written anything before.
But I think if you write anything, like, you have to sign with the. I thought that was how it worked.
If he's not a member of the guild right now, he's not on strike.
Yeah, but the Screen Actors Guild is probably going to go.
That's true. But he doesn't need to be an actor to write the script.
Well, but then the writer.
He'll write the script.
So he'll just be a guy.
He'll be a non-union writer who will write the script, and then he'll direct it and star in it. It'll be the most vanity project the world's ever seen.
Awesome.
Also, the next Alien movie, August 16th, 2024.
They still make those?
Yep. This one's going to come
the
out in
last
theaters.
One make, like, no money.
Alien Covenant.
Yeah, didn't
God,
that
was that 6 years
not
ago?
Exist basically.
I think that one made some money.
I remember seeing trailers for it, and then I never.
Didn't do
no
great.
One ever talked about it.
It probably cost too much. That one cost like $100 million. That's probably a little too much, but it made 240.
Not too bad.
I think Prometheus made more though.
Prometheus is weird.
Prometheus is weird, but it is technically an alien film.
I don't understand the Alien.
Yeah, Prometheus did like twice as much as Alien Covenant.
I am very not invested in the Alien.
So that franchise is on a downward slope.
Well, it has been since the first one.
I think Aliens made more than Alien.
Well, that's just because like there was like a
Aliens made so much money.
That's because it was also very cheap.
Yeah, Alien and Alien pretty cheap.
They both took place in dark always.
But Alien versus Predator, that was the big bucks right there.
Well, that was a conceptually good idea. I want to see the alien fight the predator.
Too bad the movie was too dark for you to see anything.
Yeah, it would have been cool if you could actually see the fight.
And it was rated PG-13, which nobody liked that because they're both R-rated movies. So like, why was that rated PG-13?
Because I knew it was going to make.
That's true. And then they made a second one, and nobody liked that one.
It really was.
I just know that the movie on the poster looks like it's called AVP: Alien versus Predator.
It was kind of a one-shot idea,
which means it's repeating itself. No, they made Alien versus Predator Requiem. It was a requiem of fighting.
Okay, what's next? Because we're talking about nothing right now.
They also dated some untitled movies, just at random points.
Okay, let's not. Who cares? Because that is not news.
An MCU title is going to come out on November 7th, 2025.
Okay, that doesn't mean anything to anyone.
They have 2 Marvel movies scheduled for in between Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars.
Yeah, all right.
So how is that going to work?
Same way Captain Marvel worked.
So that was a prequel.
So they'll do that.
Place in the 90s.
They'll do that.
So they're going to do Kang Dynasty, leave it on a cliffhanger, make 2 random side adventures that don't matter, and then make Secret Wars.
Yes.
Do you think anyone's going to care by the time Secret Wars comes out?
People will see it.
4 years from now when Secret Wars comes out?
People will see Secret Wars because it'll say Avengers on it, and they'll be like, oh, there's a new Avengers movie? And then they will forget about it.
But the next Avengers movie is going to come out 7 years after the last one.
Yeah, so?
That's so long. That's a whole...
There was a decade in between Avatars 1 and 2.
That's true. Yeah, I guess Avatar worked. But there was also nothing in between Avatar 1 and 2.
Yeah, but...
There's been 30 Marvel movies and shows in between Avengers 4 and 5.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. They'll make it work.
I don't think they can.
They
I don't think they can make it work.
They can try.
Because it's literally impossible for them to grow their audience.
Well, maybe they should have thought about that before they made a 30 million billion projects in between now and then.
Maybe you get to a point where it's completely inaccessible and nobody wants to hop onto a train.
Well,
That's
this is where
already
the train
800
will
cars
stop.
long.
The train will stop right here.
You
It
think
is time
we'll
for a
find-
new train. Make a new train. Different
I can't
train.
wait for when Avengers 2 Works comes out and it's finally over.
Never gonna end.
It's gonna end. It has to end because it'll stop making money.
Because even when they spin off and do the next thing and they reboot everything from the ground up, they're still gonna have a million They're still gonna do multiverse cameos all the time.
But they'll have to stop making them.
And it'll never end.
They'll have to reset the story.
It's fine. They'll do that
Because no one younger than us is gonna have seen everything. It'll be impossible for anyone younger than us to follow.
They'll do it anyway.
Because it's already been going for 15 years.
Yeah, but then people now have nostalgia.
What?
You're forgetting. People have nostalgia for the old MCU
Me
stuff
and
now.
you will still go see it. But, like, someone who's 5 now
No, I'm saying
won't go see the new one
they
because
will,
it'll have been 20 years of lore.
They will reboot the universe. They will start over from square one. But because of multiverse nonsense, they will still have characters from the old movies, like, appearing all the time.
I think everyone's kind of done with the multiverse, though.
I think that is not true because Spider-Verse is doing really good and everyone likes it a lot.
That's because that movie's really, really good.
Yeah, but that movie...
And no one can make a better movie than that and Everything Everywhere, so, like...
But my point is the multiverse is still a popular concept.
I guess. I mean, except for the Flash. They're doing the multiverse in Flash and no one cares.
Well, but that's because no one cares about DC at this, because everyone's kind of written it off as, like, nonsense.
And garbage.
Oh, James Gunn said the Blue Beetle is the first DCU.
You said it's the first DCU character, but not the first DCU movie.
I don't think he knows what a movie is.
I think he just says things.
Yeah, he also said that he just made up what the Infinity Stones did, which is just not true because like he used the exact same things that it did before.
I watched that podcast he was on where that
clip came
from. He's kind of full of himself a little bit.
Well, yeah, he's kind of been given the reins to like. Everyone sees him as like the last savior of the superhero genre.
He isn't though.
But everyone's like, oh, the new Guardians is the best Marvel movie since Endgame. It's the only good one. Oh, James Gunn's, he did the Suicide Squad and it was so good. It's the only good DC movie since the Batman movies like 30 years ago. Oh, man, he's going to do the new universe. Oh, it's going to be so awesome. He's going to make Superman and he's so good at making Superman even though he's never done it before. He's getting a lot of hype right now.
Yeah.
He's like the Wonder Kid right now.
He's kind of expected to fix that whole situation.
Honestly, it's
that's like burning a building down. Like the DC franchise is like burning a building down 3 times and then just bringing in like a guy off the street to come fix it.
It's so easy to fix though. It's honestly so easy to fix.
If they would
just have one guy tell you what to do.
If they would just hard reboot the whole thing.
Yeah, hard reboot the whole thing and stick,
but he's not.
And stick to one vision. They keep having like 20 different visions, and then all of them go nowhere.
He should just hard reboot the whole thing, but for some reason he won't. I don't really know why.
Well, he's basically hard rebooting the whole thing, with the exception of like Blue Beetle and like.
No, but like I think it's
some of his characters.
I think it's literally only because he wants to make more Peacemaker, and that's it.
I don't think he cares about Peacemaker.
He also said, as soon as he's done with Superman, he's gonna start working on Peacemaker season 2, and I was like, buddy. That'll be like 6 years after Peacemaker season.
Unlock the door. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was saying, Peacemaker, like, he says he's gonna pick that up like as soon as he's done with Superman Legacy.
No one cares about Peacemaker.
Which means like, Superman Legacy is supposed to come out in like July of 2025. So say like the next day he starts doing Peacemaker 2, that means like earliest it would come out like 2026. Which is like 4 years.
I really
after
don't think anyone cares about.
I like Peacemaker.
It was good, but like I'm not like hyped for the next season.
Well,
I watched it mainly because there was nothing else out at that time. Like what else was coming out when Peacemaker came out?
I mean, it came out in like January, so
yeah, it was the only show on TV.
Book of Boba Fett was on. It is better than Book of Boba Fett.
It is better than Book of Boba Fett, but that's only because Book of Boba Fett's really boring.
Peacemaker isn't boring.
Peacemaker is what Book of Boba Fett like should have been.
Yeah, they're not at all the same.
No, but like where he like goes around and does cool stuff instead of like sitting in his
No, I like
chair
Peacemaker
alone.
season 1. I don't know if I'm clamoring for. Like, I
That's
don't.
what I'm saying. I'm not hyped for the next season.
I don't
I'm
think.
like, okay,
like,
if they make it, that's
waiting
fine.
5 years to do a second season of a television show is like ridiculous.
And also, like, it's not a super popular character. Like,
No,
he's not.
well, like, if you want to do more Peacemaker, that's fine. You want to do season 2, whatever.
Should have happened like today.
You do it a year or 2 years after season 1, like max.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That character doesn't have enough
Like,
like
he's not going
cultural
to hold
staying power.
interest for. I know they're all going to be in Waller. They're all going to be in that, which is supposed to come out in like next year, I guess. Even though that hasn't started shooting either.
But I don't care about that either.
And I get that maybe that one's canon. Who knows what's even canon?
The problem is, yeah, we don't know what to be invested in because we don't know.
He didn't mention Aquaman in that interview. He's talking Blue Beetle is the first DCU character. Superman Legacy is the first DCU movie.
Means
and then he didn't even mention Aquaman 2.
I love
how
anything. Everything's dumb.
I love how it's so apparent which movies he likes and which ones he doesn't.
He can't just pick the ones he likes.
Obviously,
it doesn't work that
He
way.
obviously really likes The Flash. He didn't like Shazam 2. That's fairly obvious. Like, he didn't even promote that one on Twitter. He was just like, yep, Shazam 2.
Yeah.
He obviously doesn't like Blue Beetle, which is a little concerning. And then I don't think he gives. Apparently, Aquaman.
Blue Beetle looks bad.
I think apparently Aquaman 2 is like god awful. Like, they've been test
I'm
screening
not
that one, and
surprised.
apparently it's like just like the worst thing they've ever made.
Okay, the fact that Aquaman 1 wasn't a colossal disaster is a miracle.
It made a lot of money in China.
And
a lot of money.
I don't know if you can get Lightning to hit that small of a target twice.
Well, we've seen in recent years that generally, if your movie is not good to great, it will not do well. Like, we're in the era where you have to make a good movie to make money.
What?
If you
We have to try.
if you make a bad movie, it will not perform well.
Yeah, good.
So, like, Aquaman was a bad movie for the most part that just made a lot of money because it had Jason Momoa on it, and haha, funny, Aquaman is a movie now. Dog time.
Is that the Cena coming in? Or is that Max?
Dog.
It's Cena.
Closing
All right.
the door.
But yeah, I'm not surprised that Aquaman's a bomb. Blue Beetle looks like it's going to be awful. The Flash movie, if it is good, I'll be surprised. DC's really in a big
But
bad
are you
bucket of
excited
beef.
for Superman? Or at least interested in Superman?
I am interested in Superman, but I'm gonna have to see a little more to actually get hyped about it.
Would like them saying who the cast is? Would that like?
Not
Are you sure?
really.
Or do you have
I
to
don't
see
really
like a
care.
trailer?
Yeah, I got to see like a trailer because like
Okay.
the cast of Blue Beetle looks fine,
That's true.
but that movie looks awful, and like the cast of Aquaman is probably fine,
Well, except for Amber Turd.
except for Amber Heard is still there for some reason.
Why did they not cut her out?
They
reshot the movie like 3 times. Why would you not cut out Amber
Well,
Heard?
reshooting it 4 times.
Did you see
that would have just been
she
too much.
she quit acting though.
Yeah, I'm
She's
not
like wandering
surprised.
around London or something. I don't know what she's doing.
Probably like
She's running around Europe because they found her not guilty, and in America they did find her guilty
Yeah, so that's where she's gonna live now.
because they're on her side for some reason, even though she obviously abused Johnny Depp.
Yeah, she recorded herself doing it.
Well, actually, we can just say it now because it was
because now
proven in a court of
now
law.
it's been proven in court.
Love that man, Johnny Depp. He's a real winner.
He's a real cool dude. All right.
They
Anyway,
should put him in a DC movie.
they should.
Has he ever done a comic book thing? Jonathan Depp?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. He did Harry Potter,
That doesn't count.
but that's not
And
really.
he also got cut out of that franchise.
That's true. After 1 or 2 movies,
One movie.
One is
He was
one.
in Crimes of Grindelwald, and then he was.
I think I think he was at the very end of like the first one though. Crimes of Grindelwald. Murder on.
Remember when Grindelwald and
He was in Yoga
Dumbledore
Hosers?
had a very passionate gay romance?
Huh?
Yeah,
Oh,
remember-
off screen? Yeah, I do remember that.
off screen where it didn't affect the profit margins.
You know, whatever. You don't want to increase ticket sales in the Chinese market. Oh, he did From Hell, which
that
I
a
believe
comic
is
book
based on a
movie?
comic.
Okay, anyway,
Yeah, it's
let's
based
move
on
on.
an
What's
Alan
next?
Moore comic, so I guess that counts.
Are we done with dates of movies and stuff now?
Yeah. You want to
Okay.
move on to the next thing?
Let's talk about the Apple Vision Pro.
Oh, yay, Apple Vision Pro.
So I guess I didn't know we were going to be going over the whole thing. So let me pull up. Let me pull up the
Why don't
website.
you explain what it is, Sam?
So the Apple Vision Pro is Apple's answer to, they call it spatial computing. Facebook calls it
VR.
the metaverse.
It's VR. That's what it is.
Video game companies called it VR since the 70s. Yeah, it's their virtual reality or augmented reality.
Apple
headset.
saw the Virtual Boy and said, "Hey, what if we made that?"
What if we do that? But except for it doesn't give you like blindness.
Well, it might. We don't know yet.
But yeah, so this is a very different product than entries we've seen, like traditional like VR products.
Not really. It's a VR headset, Sam.
The way that you control it is different. There's no controllers.
How does it work?
So instead of like
What
having,
chip do I have to implant into my
instead of
brain?
having like controllers that operate as like pointers, right? You just look at whatever the thing is you want to click on, and you go like this. You can move it in
With your hand?
Yeah, so you look, your eyes.
How is it tracking your hand?
There's cameras on the bottom and on the sides that track your hands.
So you look at a thing and pinch, and that's
No,
what selects it.
you don't have to move your hands to where it is. You just look at it. So let's say where Wyatt is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a gizmo I wanna click on. So I
You
just
want to
look,
activate.
I just
Apple
look
TV
at that and I go like this. It doesn't matter where my hand is. I just go like that, and then I can move it around. So it is pretty interesting. They also talked about some of the like other features that it does. It can, using all the cameras on the front, it can scan a 3D model of your face and your head and use that for FaceTime calls, since it's gonna be hard to FaceTime someone with a big thing on your head.
Huh?
Yeah.
So I'll FaceTime someone and they won't see me. They'll see a CGI deepfake version of me.
Yes.
Cool and fun.
Basically,
Not dystopian, but cool and fun.
This incorporates like one of every like thing that Apple has done in the last like few decades.
Is it an iPod Nano?
Yes, it is an iPod Nano. But like
Remember the
it
iPod
has the
Nano?
LiDAR sensors that they've been putting on their Pro devices for the last few years. That's how it does the 3D mapping of your area.
I was thinking it would just like use a camera.
It uses like super powerful like face tracking cameras to track like your eye. It has like instead of Face ID, it actually scans your cornea and has like Eye ID. And that's how you like unlock it.
It's gonna scan my eyeball.
It has like retina scanners to like scan your eyes for the Face ID.
Sick, dog.
If you need glasses, there are magnetic prescription lenses you can clip into the inside.
So Sam, I need you to explain this to me. Why would I use this over a normal computer?
Okay, so how big is the display on your computer?
This big?
Okay, what if it was like 100 feet wide?
I mean, I think I'd just make it impractical.
But what if it didn't take up any space?
Like it's like in my vision, it's still real big and harder to navigate than just being.
How is it harder than you just look at what the thing is?
Because I gotta like look around and.
I'm talking about for movies, Tucker.
I have a TV.
Is it 100 feet wide? That's bigger than an IMAX screen.
Oh. What?
IMAX theater on your face.
Cool. Now I don't have to go out in public ever again.
Exactly.
Now I can never leave my house, and the only people I see will be made of CGI.
No, so the best way I can explain like the difference in quality, or I guess power, from this to like the Meta Quest. The Meta Quest is powered by like a Snapdragon chip, right? Which is like a mid-end.
That's what Android uses, right?
Yeah, it's a mid-end Android phone, right? This is powered by an M2 chip, and not like the
Which is how many M1 chips stuck together?
0. It's not an M1 chip. It's the chip that's in this laptop. So this is a MacBook on your head. A Meta Quest is a mid-range Android smartphone on your head.
Okay.
You
So
see,
I can use Google Docs on like Super HD? Is that what you're telling me?
you can use. Have you seen any of the like the the demos and stuff they showed off for this when they were doing their presentation?
Yeah, I saw people sitting on their couch, staring at a home screen, and then like selecting Apple Music, and then like turning Apple Music on using their big, giant, massive headset.
Did you see any of the Disney Plus demos they did?
Yeah, I did. So they're doing, it's just Disney Plus, and then also like there's like special things that they want to do where they'll like put you in the world of Hoth or whatever.
Hey, I'm down. I want to go to Hoth.
Hoth is it's just a snowy area.
But
there's nothing in Hoth.
But I want to watch episode 5 on Hoth.
Why would you want to do that?
So you're immersed.
What are you gonna do when they leave Hoth?
You switch it to whatever planet they go to.
I'm watching Star Wars from cold and feeling spaceship hallway.
Yeah.
What a fun environment. What is that like? My real question is like, that's a fun gimmick, but it cost $3,500.
No, okay. So the real value proposition of
What's your eye, Cena?
Watch out. The real value proposition of this is how much would an 8K 100-foot wide monitor cost?
I don't know.
It's impossible. You can't manufacture that. That would never exist.
Is this 8K?
Yeah. Each eye is 4K.
If you put 4K and 4K, that's 8K?
Yeah, that's how numbers work.
I don't know how that works. I don't really understand what 8K is generally.
Okay, so you know how...
And to me, it looks exactly the same as 4K, so I don't really understand.
Well, that depends on how far away you stand from it. But, okay, you know 1080p, though, right?
Yes.
So that's 1,000 pixels in this direction, right? So 4K would mean 4,000 pixels in this direction, right?
Yep.
So 8K is 8,000 pixels. So you're just getting the pixels smaller and smaller and smaller.
But nothing is made in 8K.
No,
make movies or
but when you're
streams in
trying
8K.
to accurately simulate reality around you...
Isn't the reality around you, that's just camera feed though, right?
Yes.
The actual displays are just showing like the home screen and like the Google Docs page.
No. The screens are showing what the cameras are inputting.
Yeah.
So in order to make that couch look like it does to me right now, you would need a very high resolution display in order to simulate that with a display.
Here's an idea. I take my $3,500 headset off, and I just look at my couch in real life using my eyeballs.
My point is not
is
to
the
simulate
highest
the couch, Tucker.
The highest resolution is using your eyes.
My point is if you want to have a device that accurately simulates the room around you while allowing you to, place computer screens in that space that look realistic, you have to have a very high resolution display.
I just think we're just doing Ready Player One now.
So I didn't even finish what I was saying. So Apple's most expensive monitor is the 6K Pro XDR display.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even OLED. It's technically an LCD display.
Cool.
Now, it's a very, very nice display. It's probably the nicest display you can buy.
But not OLED.
It's $6,000, right?
Cool and fun.
Now, let's take it. We'll combine that with an M2 Mac Mini, right? That's another $500. You add some AirPods Pros on there. That's another $250. So if you take all these different devices that this does the job of and add them up, that's the value proposition, is you no longer need those things because this exists. That's the idea.
So you can't use this in public. You can't walk around with this on.
You could. You'd probably get
run
bullied.
into stuff and
Tucker. That's why it feeds in the reality around you. That's the application.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be paying
Can I make
attention to
the
that.
couch look good? It's can I move around my house?
I know, but you wouldn't be paying attention to the stuff around you. You'd be paying attention to what's on the screen, which is why you have it on in the first
turn the
place.
screen down, walk to where you're going, sit down, and turn it back on.
Why would you not just take it off and then walk there and then put it back on?
Because then you're walking around with a headset. Because you might want to wear it around. I don't know.
Twice, you could look like an
Have
idiot
you ever
everywhere
walked?
you go?
Have you ever walked around on your phone ever?
No.
You've never once taken a
I
step
don't roam
while
around
holding your phone.
Like
You've never played Pokemon Go before.
I don't walk around like this. No.
You've never done that once.
Maybe once,
Okay.
but it's not smart, and you run into stuff.
But my point is, people do that anyways.
I just think this is we're.
Do you
just
not
doing
understand?
Ready
Do you
Player
not
One
think
now.
anyone uses like devices while they're walking around? You've never thought that this.
It is not intelligent to walk
I didn't
around
say
in
it
public?
was. I'm saying people do it.
Okay.
So if you can make the experience of doing it good, why wouldn't you?
Because it's not a good thing to do.
Why not?
Because walking around with a screen glued to your head and paying attention to that instead of the world around you is not a smart way
So then
of going about your life.
So then turn the screen down while you're walking around. So you can see through the screens. You can't see through your phone.
But you can look up from you.
So look up over the virtual screen. What is your argument?
Just take the thing.
I don't understand what your argument is.
I don't understand what your argument is.
I'm not arguing anything. You're arguing that there's a problem with whatever you're. I don't even know what you're saying.
I just don't think it's good for us to like live in a VR world where we're all VR.
I never said that was a good thing.
But you're all about this. You're a big fan of this stuff.
I just think it's cool. I think that once it gets cheaper,
would you buy this?
I would buy it if it wasn't
how
$3,500. Anytime I wanted to watch a movie, I'd probably put this on.
Will you watch it in VR?
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
You done with movie?
You can have a 3D OLED 8K display that's 100 feet wide. Why would I ever not choose that display? She's fine. Just leave the dog alone. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, why would you ever not, if you had that as an option, why would you not use that display?
Oh. Well, personally, it would kill the movie theater industry.
So
that's what I'm worried about.
I'm not, but why would you need the movie theater industry if this is just better in every way?
Because then the movies don't make any money anymore.
No, you just do pay-per-view.
Yay.
I don't see the problem. The snacks are cheaper. The screen is bigger. The screen is better. It's like 3D.
All right, whatever. We'll live our whole lives in VR.
I'm not saying live. Are you
I'm
listening
just,
at all?
I did.
I'm just saying it would be good for watching movies. It would be the
sure
best
it
movie
is.
experience.
I'm sure it's the best way to watch movies now is to sit on your couch, staring at a wall for 3 hours.
Well, that's what you do when you watch movies now. You stare at this for 3 hours.
That's true.
And this is way worse than that.
But now someone can mess with you while you're watching a movie.
No, because if someone walks into your peripheral vision, they'll come through whatever you're watching.
Stuff at you. You won't see it coming.
Okay, but that's the same.
You'll be paying attention to your IMAX.
That's the same as if you were like playing on your Switch and someone threw something at you. Like all the arguments you have against it are things that already exist. Like,
I'm just saying I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
When you buy this in 5 years, because you will, I'm gonna throw things at you while you're using
if
VR.
this ever becomes less than $1,000, I might buy one.
Less? That's your cutoff?
Yeah, phones are $1,000.
I guess. The phones are already too expensive, though. Do you think anyone's gonna buy this at launch?
Yeah, I already know people who want to buy it at launch.
$3,000.
I haven't even talked about the problems with it yet. Well, there's only really one major issue.
What's its big major issue? Oh, it's the battery life.
Battery pack.
It's like 2 hours, right?
Well, okay, it's 2 hours on the battery.
Oh, right.
But in their presentation,
if you're charging it, it's like 8 hours.
If you plug it into the wall, it gets all day battery life. That is how they phrased it in their presentation. They said if you plug it in, it gets all day battery life.
They're not wrong.
They're not wrong, but then by that logic, my Xbox has all day battery
your
life.
Your car has infinite gas if you never take the pump out.
If you just never just leave the pump in all the time.
If you never leave the gas station, your car has got infinite gas.
Yeah, so that's really stupid.
That is really
That
stupid.
was hilarious when they said that.
Won't that get like really hot? Wouldn't that get like really hot though?
No, actually, it has like fans.
They put fans in it?
It has fans that suck in air from the bottom and like blow it out the top. So you can also pair your other, like if you have a Magic Keyboard or a Magic, the Apple like peripherals.
Type on
you can pair all that stuff to your headset and it'll.
Can you type by just like doing this with your fingers? And
yes, there is also a virtual keyboard, but I imagine a regular keyboard is probably way better.
Why? You want to touch the fake buttons?
No, because I imagine they probably wouldn't register very well.
I don't see a problem with it at all. I think this is going to work great. I think it's going to have no problems.
I mean, it might work great. I don't know. I have never.
They're never going to have to make a second version. I think they're going to up the price.
But another cool thing it does is if you have like a Mac or a MacBook, if you look at the screen, it'll automatically sync with it, and then you can start taking stuff off your screen and like putting it out in.
But you won't need the MacBook. You can throw the MacBook in the garbage. Just use your VR computer.
Well, you could, but if you want the keyboard and the trackpad MacBook, then
rip
you could
the
use
screen
those.
off the key of the MacBook.
Well, then it would probably break.
No, it'll still work. When they introduce the new Apple Mac, it'll work.
No, but like imagine editing in like
VR?
on a giant timeline. That'd be cool. and you could just pinch and move clips like to put them in and like scroll where you want to scroll. Like that could be.
I mean, I
good.
guess, but like if you're editing, you need it to be like fine tuned, and I just like.
Well,
Not
your
saying
eyes
it,
are a way better.
Not saying it would
pointer,
never
yeah.
work. I'm saying like, I'm guessing like if you're trying to like fine tune and edit like using your hands in VR and
well, again, you're still thinking that you're touching with your hands. You don't do that. You look where you want to click,
looking
and you go like this when you want to click on something. Yeah, your eyes are the mouse.
I that wouldn't be really cute.
I feel like you could get used to it pretty fast. I feel like out of all the VR control schemes, this is the most intuitive.
I feel like, well, my problem with the eye thing is I feel like you would accidentally click on stuff like you don't want to click on.
Well, then don't.
Like if you're editing, like in your.
Why would you ever click on something
like,
you're not looking at?
Say you're editing and you're like adjusting the volume, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at that and then you accidentally like, and then you just like spontaneously just like look over at like the rest of the timeline, it would unclick that and it would mess.
Well,
the rest
whatever
of the
you're,
up.
If you look at something,
like how is it determined? Like, is it locking your focus here?
If
or
you
is it
look
like
at
constantly...
something and click, and then look somewhere else, it'll stay wherever you clicked initially, as long as your fingers are still together.
I guess.
Because that's how you would drag screens around. I would imagine you would grab it, look where you want to move it, and
you
move it over there.
I'm not a fan of VR much. I don't know.
I
would never.
I feel like VR has never been useful until now.
Can you game on it? Can you do gaming?
So,
or is it literally just a MacBook on your face?
So they changed a lot of the way they did gaming. Actually, I think Linus Tech Tips made a video about this earlier today. But they created a new so do you know why Macs have no games?
Because Apple hates video games, and because then they'd have to give a share of their money.
No, yeah, Wyatt is more correct. It's because they require that you use their proprietary coding system, Metal 3, which is like their own special Mac gaming code, right? And you can't use any other kind of code. So like most games I think run in like Photon, which is like that's what you usually make a game in. There are other ones, but that one's like the most common. So in order to make a game, you have to code it in Apple's special Apple code, right? So they created a new system called GPT, which is the game porting tool set, not GPT, the chatbot. That allows
until all video games are made by ChatGPT.
That will allow you to automatically convert other game code to Metal 3 code. So it makes porting to Mac like possible and not super duper annoying. So in the next few years, yes, that will probably become a thing.
Can't wait for when.
Also, this headset doesn't launch until early next year. So they still have time to like set all that stuff up.
Did they not reveal anything else was it just the headset? Did they not talk about the next iPhone or whatever?
They launched a new MacBook Air, which is exactly the same as this one. It's just 15 inches instead of like 13 inches, which that is cool because before a
2-inch difference.
The only way you could get a big screen on a MacBook was the Pros. This is the first time they've ever had a big one that was not $2,000. That's the only reason why that's remotely interesting. Otherwise, it's exactly the same as this one. It doesn't know that there is basically no other difference.
Woohoo!
They dropped the price of this one by $100, so if people want to, they did announce some new iOS and macOS features. They're basically all really lame. The only one that's kind of cool is they're adding a new thing called Name Drop, where if you just put your phones near each other,
I did see
they'll
that.
automatically share contact info, and you have like your own like little profile page that you make.
Like do you have to like go to a thing and then like?
No, as long as you have AirDrop turned on.
Or it'll just walk next to a person and it'll actually.
As long as your phone is unlocked and you like put it over someone else's phone, it'll automatically share. Which is pretty cool. I think that's cool.
It's a really easy way to steal contact from the mall.
Well, if their phones are unlocked and they put theirs under yours,
if you're
yeah.
on their and then you run away.
They were just not. Oh, that's the other thing. Whenever you call someone, you have the option to make your own custom like home screen for your profile page. So whenever you call someone, the page you made will show up on their phone.
Huh?
So you make like
instead of a picture, it's like a full profile.
It's a picture of you and like your name. So it's not like a super detailed thing, but
pretty sure the phone already does that though. Pretty sure iPhone, like when you're calling someone,
it's whatever picture you have set in your Do you know the lock?
So you set your contact picture instead of the other person.
Yeah,
that's the new feature.
That you know the lock screen like building thing. How like you can change the text and
like the widgets. Yeah.
It's that, but it's a picture of you and then your name. And then you can make it do depth effect or you can change the colors. It does all the stuff the lock screen does. But it's like a profile picture.
So I can customize what comes up on people's phones.
Yes.
When I call them.
Which, as you can imagine, probably has some humorous implications, right?
I'm pretty sure everyone's just going to make it a
big, yeah, you could make it a big penis.
I think it's mostly just going to be penises.
That's hilarious. They gave you the option to penis bomb your friend.
Thanks, Apple. Way to go.
And they added the ability to do if you FaceTime someone, you can leave a like a voicemail, but it's like a video of you. I think that's cool.
Right, I mean,
that could be useful.
That feels like that should have been like a feature years ago.
Exactly. That feels like it should have been a thing a long time ago.
Way to innovate, Apple.
For iMessage, you can now swipe to reply like every other messaging app. Have you ever done that before on like Instagram or Snapchat? Where like instead of holding down and hitting reply, you just go like that and reply.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you can do that now. Oh, they added a last read button for iMessage. So if you're in a group chat and they send like 80 texts, when you open the group chat, there will be a little arrow that takes you to the last one you read.
Oh, that's
so you
good.
can catch up in a normal amount of time. Yeah, that's, again, should have been there forever
I love it
ago.
when they add quality of life features and then act like these are giant technological advancements.
Oh, okay, my favorite moment of the whole event, you know how you can only set one timer on your phone or your iPad?
Yeah.
So, set multiple timers now. Guess what Craig Federighi said after he announced that?
Can I set 3 alarms now?
You can. He was like, "We truly live in an age of wonders." That's what he said in response to adding multiple timers.
That's what amazed him.
No, if you wanted to set multiple timers, you had to use a different device. Go on your phone. Try to set like a 5-minute timer and a 2-minute timer. You can't. You can only do one timer at a time.
Oh, like
yeah. Like let's say you're cooking something and you have one thing that finishes in 10 minutes. Well, yeah, but then it doesn't go off. Then it doesn't alert you when you want it to alert you. You just have to look at it the whole time. And then at that point, why even set a timer?
I don't think you guys...
The point is you can set multiple timers now. It's useful for cooking. If you're cooking like a sauce that takes 5 minutes and a quiche that takes 10 minutes, it's useful to have 2 different timers. That's what timers are for. Wyatt's arguing that setting 2 timers is not useful. They should have never not let you set more than 1 timer.
I mean, like...
Sam, I don't think you understand just the pure computing power.
The 2 timers demand.
It takes to do 2 timers? 2.
But then you have to stare at the timer the whole time. And at that point, just look at the thing you're cooking. Do you see how that is dumb, what you're saying right now?
Exactly, that's why...
If you can set 2 timers, you don't have to stare at that thing until it's done. You can do other things while you're doing that. Yeah, or you can memorize the cook times of everything and have it like
and
muscle
time
memory.
It internally.
But that's ridiculous. What are you saying right now? Why are you arguing against multiple timers? That's such a basic feature. Why?
I'm not arguing against it. It's just like...
It feels like something that should have just been baked in with the first iPhone. That's like, how is multiple timers not something you have in the clock app when you make it the first time?
Again,
how is there not just a new timer button?
Sam, you're not understanding. It takes 7 M2 chips
and
put together.
They didn't
2
even,
timers.
They didn't even announce it as part of the iOS update. They announced it as part of the iPadOS update.
So is it even on iPad?
It is on iOS, but they were like, your iPad is so powerful, it can have 5 timers at once. Okay, 2 timers, 3 timers, sure. 7 timers. What am I timing 7 of? That's how many it lets you do. 7 timers.
Wow, what a magical time we live in.
We truly live in an age of wonder.
That's true. Now you can
leverage the power of the M2 to run multiple timers.
Now we can watch Echo, the Marvel show in VR.
Oh, I didn't say.
We can watch DuckTales and Scrooge McDuck's house.
Another thing that the goggles let you do
4 timers
is they can record 3D environmental video.
And then you can go back
and watch it and like relive the memory.
Cool. Why would I
Now,
ever need to go in
The
real
dystopian
life?
aspect is that you have to wear the goggles the first time you record that experience, which would that would mean you only have the virtual version because you only ever experienced it in there. But the fact that you can record 3D video is kind of cool.
Can't we already do that?
We can, but not like...
That's what the 360 feature is on your iPhone.
No, that just records... That's like a big, long strip of photo. Not 3D. You can't like go into it.
Can we do 360 video? I think we are.
No, we can do 360 video, but I'm saying like this is like a 3D simulate. It's a recording of what you are in right now.
Top. You're just saying you're allowing like people like generally can record it.
No,
like that type of video already existed.
No, we had 360 video. I'm talking about recording your memory as it is in that moment in 3D.
Yeah, you're just allowing people to record 360 videos.
Yeah, but then you can put the VR headset on and go back into that.
Yeah, watch the 360 video?
It's not a 360 video.
Then what is it?
It's 360 video is not 3D. It's just a circle.
This is also just 2D. You can't go around in the video. You're still just watching.
No, but the video's in 3D. It's like the environment.
Yeah,
that
there's a little bit more depth, but you're still just watching a video.
It is how it was for you the first time you did it.
You're recording, and then what? You're just recording a video and then watching it.
But it's 3D.
That's what we were already doing that.
No, if you record a video right now, it'll be a rectangle with me sitting here, right?
Uh-huh.
If you recorded it with that, it would be a 3D model of me and a 3D model of the room as it is right now.
If I ever get a 360 video of this room, it'd have you and the room as it is.
No, but it would be a 2D flat sphere of video.
There would be slightly more depth in between you and the wall in the new cool.
It would be a 3D model of me in the room.
So a video, Sam.
Yes, it's a video, but it is a 3D memory thing.
Is there a bottom and a top?
Yes, there's a bottom. What?
Okay, that's an improvement. There, they improved something.
What?
Because now all of our 360 videos, they like if you just look down, like a black gaping void.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a sphere. I'm saying this records it as you are looking at it.
Can I walk around in my memories?
I'm not sure. That'll probably be a thing they add later.
That would be creepy, and I hate that, and that'd be weird.
Would be like Batman.
That would be dystopian.
You know how Batman?
That would be super dystopian.
You know how Batman makes like 3D renders of crime scenes?
Yeah,
it's that, except for it's in
now
color.
We can all. Be
it's
Batman.
In color instead of being like blue lines.
Cool. Now I can wear a VR headset and relive all of my memories that I
Just
recorded
like
while wearing a VR headset.
Yeah, that's the
and
sad
therefore
part.
It didn't experience.
The sad part is
life.
that you have to do it with the headset. If they allow
Hold on, babe. I know I'm wearing Google Goggles.
Now, it does have a
now.
dedicated button on the headset for recording stuff. So my hope is that you could just use it as a camera and just hold it and then record. That would be the hope. That would be ideal for me. But
nah,
I hope that they let you do
I want to experience my child's
I want to
birth
not
while
experience
wearing...
anything.
Aren't they just doing... What was Google Glass? Wasn't Google Glass like the same thing as this, but just like less advanced?
Google Glass was... Sort of.
They were trying to put
really
a phone
sucked.
on your head with Google Glass. Apple's trying to put a computer on your head.
Yeah. So where this has like actual, like you can actually use this for like actual
for
business.
anything you would do with a normal computer.
Yeah, you could use this for anything.
Is that gonna stop the video?
It shouldn't. No, because it's still going. You can use that. You can use this to do anything your computer can do, whereas your Google Glass could like do Google searches. Okay, we're gonna have to pause quick.
What's going on?
I don't know. All right, what was I talking about?
Some about Google and how much you love Apple VR time.
No, so the Google Glass only let you do like Google searches and record video. This does whatever your computer. That's the difference.
So, Sam, you're telling me we can now do 8K ultra realistic VR pornography?
Yes, with 3D boobs.
Finally, people can watch porn in
Imagine
3D.
boobs bouncing 3D just like
and
they
you
do
can
in
put
the
it
real
on
world.
the big IMAX screen.
100
Oh my gosh,
boobs.
we're bringing back porno theaters, but now it's in a VR.
That was bigger.
Thanks. Finally.
That's the real
We needed that
innovation.
industry to come back. Porno theaters.
But so on the downsides of the Apple Vision Pro,
Less gross.
the battery life
yeah,
is
you already went into that.
2 hours. That's it.
Sick.
You have to wear a
dog.
dumb cable on your head while you're using it.
You have to wear a cable on your head?
Well, the battery pack is external.
You have to carry. Do you have to have the battery pack?
Well, if you want it to work, yeah.
So wait. There's no battery in the.
There's no battery in the front part. It's on a cable that you put in your
Do you have
pocket.
to like strap it to the back of your head?
No, it's a cable, and it's long enough that it goes in
You have
your
to put the
pocket.
battery pack in your pocket and you hook it.
Yes,
the
the
cable.
battery goes in your pocket.
That's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
That
But-
is. Wouldn't that get like really hot?
No, because it's not that big. Which is probably why.
Which is probably why it's. So they couldn't figure out a way to put the battery in the headset.
They could, but it was too heavy. Because it's
How is it too heavy?
Because the headset's made of aluminum and glass. It's not made of plastic.
But like MetaQuest has the battery in the
MetaQuest
headset.
is plastic
Why didn't they?
because they're Apple.
So because they wanted to make theirs out of aluminum,
Uh-huh.
they had to put the battery in your pocket.
You know the AirPods Max?
The studio ones?
Yeah, the big metal
Yeah.
ones. You know why no one buys those?
Because they're just a really big, expensive pair of headphones.
Well, they're big and they're the best sounding headphones, but the reason why no one uses them
Yes.
is because they're made of metal and they're really heavy. And instead of every other brand of headphones that uses plastic, because that's lightweight, Apple chose to use machined aluminum, which is way heavier than
So I'm
plastic.
carrying a big aluminum box on my head.
Yes.
Cool.
Now, that
Not on
does
my
have
head.
some-
I'm not going to buy this or ever use
That
it.
does have some advantages. It'll last a lot longer. It's not gonna like get scuffed up and all that.
I guess.
And it looks
But when are you
better.
scuffing up your VR goggles?
Drop them? Yes, I don't know.
But how? You're not carrying. It's either on your head or it's not.
Maybe when you're taking it off, it slips out of your hand.
Yeah,
Balls. I don't know. But I mean, it's just because it looks better. That's why. It's because it looks more.
But
premium.
no, but one like it'll get all fingerprints and like smudgy on it.
Well,
it's
if
metal.
if you touch the lenses, yeah.
Not the lenses. I'm saying like the outside. Is the shell aluminum?
The shell is the only part of the shell that's exposed is the ring around it, and then the whole front is glass.
Oh,
Because
so yeah,
there are so many cameras.
Heckin' fingerprints.
There
on
are
that.
so many cameras in the front that the whole front of it is glass, except for the screen that shows your eyes.
That is weird. I don't like that.
That is weird. Although it only shows your eyes when someone. Remember earlier when I said like if someone walks up to you, it breaks the immersion and they like come through
I'm
it.
pretty sure that is
It only
literally a
show-
thing that the VR goggles in Ready Player One.
Yeah,
do.
it only shows your eyes when someone enters your
Out of
field
every
vision.
dystopian future, that's the one we're doing.
Okay, that one's not that bad though. Compared to all the other ones, that one's like not.
That's
terrible.
that
we could
one.
be living in Mad Max. We could be living in Cyberpunk.
At least Mad Max isn't a society entirely based around sitting in your house and staring at the Iron Giant all day.
But think about think about Ready Player. We have an equivalent.
We're already at that era, like pop culture wise, where we're just vomiting up every single thing we've ever done into a big stew.
Pop culture wise, we already have a video game where every single IP goes to die. You just put that in the VR headset.
No, Sam.
It's everything you love.
We're not doing Fortnite.
It's everything
We're not
you
doing
love.
VR Ready Player One Fortnite.
That is what Ready Player
Stop.
One is.
Stop right now.
Think about a
Stop
feature
it.
that's in Ready Player
Your
One.
dream reality is everyone
This isn't my
playing
dream
Fortnite in
reality.
VR.
This is
it
this is the reality we're going towards.
This is what you would love it if everyone was just playing Fortnite in VR on their Apple Quest headset all day.
It'd be cool.
You'd put a down payment
Okay,
on
no,
a
I want to
car.
play Minecraft on this thing.
Why are you playing Minecraft at all?
Because it'd be fun to play it in VR. Yeah, but then it will actually look good and run good.
Oh,
instead
Sam,
of
you want to
looking
talk
bad and
about the new
running bad.
Minecraft update?
It's gonna look like Minecraft.
Yeah, but you can like put ray tracing on it. Or like shaders. You put shaders on it. It's just running Mac OS
I'm
basically.
pretty sure you can already play Minecraft in VR, Sam.
Let's talk about Zelda movie rumors.
Really, just one.
Just the one rumor actually from some guy on a podcast.
Insider.
Okay, no, not even an insider. A guy who says he knows an insider.
Jeff Snyder, who has a podcast, revealed that he heard that Illumination is currently closing a deal with Nintendo to do an animated Legend of Zelda movie. So,
I don't want this. I don't want this
in
more
the
than anything I've ever not wanted.
0.5% chance, half of 1% chance that this is actually true. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if this ends up happening.
I think there's
But I don't. He doesn't know this.
Yeah,
he's just saying this.
This guy doesn't know this, but the likelihood of this happening is pretty high.
It's more likely they do it with them than anyone else.
Yeah, just because they have that relationship with
the
Universal.
Mario, and the Mario made $1 billion.
I just really don't want them to do this.
I think they would make a pretty bad Zelda movie, but I also think it's hard to make a good Zelda movie generally.
No, it's not. It would be so easy.
No, what would you do? What game would you adapt? Would you do an Ocarina of Time? Would you do Twilight Princess? Would you do a Breath of the Wild?
I think in terms of adapting a story, probably either Skyward Sword or Twilight Princess would be the easiest to just like make it into a straightforward movie.
Skyward Sword would probably be the smartest choice because that's also the first one.
Although it does take place after a 500-year-old war, so it's really not the first in the timeline. It's just the first
the first
in
game in the timeline.
Yeah.
They're not going to go back and do the war.
Yeah, because that would be
that
weird.
doesn't have a Link
That
and
never
Zelda
has in the
in
game. Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, if they do end up doing a Zelda movie, that's what they would do, because that's the most recent one.
I also think animation-wise, that'd be the
generally
easiest to adapt.
the most culturally relevant. That's the one that most people are aware of, is the Breath of the Wild
Breath
version.
of the Wild is so big that it has almost its own fan base outside of the Zelda
That
community.
one makes sense in that game has more characters than most Zelda games generally do, because you have like the champions and like the
there's
whatever.
the champions, and there's like the different NPCs that live in the different villages. Like there is a lot more to those games than your average Zelda.
Story-wise, that game is literally just
Probably the least developed.
go
of
to
all the Zelda
Divine
games.
Beasts, defeat the Ganons and
Get the MacGuffins,
and then run to Ganon and hit him with a big stick. Like that's the whole plot. And the whole point of Breath of the Wild is the gameplay. So if you just strip the gameplay part out, then it doesn't work.
I
really
think Tears
at
of the
all.
Kingdom could work a little
But
better.
you would have to do Breath of the Wild first. You couldn't
Do
just
you,
do
though?
Tears.
Do you have to do Breath of the Wild first?
It would be really
does the
weird if
story
they
of-
started with Tears.
Does the story of Breath of the Wild affect the story of Tears of the Kingdom at all?
Not really, but Tears of the Kingdom is also really weird.
Ow.
Link has an ghost arm that has magic powers that can glue things together.
Okay. You'd have to change certain things for the movie. Obviously, I don't think the power to glue things together would be very appealing in a movie setting. But you could just have it so his arm does the things it does in Breath of the Wild.
I feel like they would. I feel like if they.
Yeah, it was kind of like
that was most of it.
but it was an amalgam. It wasn't. They didn't pick a Mario game and adapt that.
Well, that's because That's because every Mario game has the same story.
But
anyway.
I don't think they would just.
That's not true.
I don't think
with
they would just
Zelda. They're
pick a
all
Zelda
weird.
game and adapt that. I think they
But
would.
I feel like you'd have to.
I think they,
Otherwise, it'd be like really simple and dumbed down.
Yeah, almost like, oh geez, what? We saw another video game movie a few months ago. It was really simple and dumb.
But
oh yeah, the Mario movie.
But the Mario movie is like, the Mario franchise is like broadly appealing to everyone.
Okay, but
Like Zelda is it's still a children's game, but it appeals to a slightly older demographic, and it is a little bit more mature and harder to understand.
they didn't
than
even
Mario.
stick to the Mario.
Mario
lore,
is
of which there is one
Mario-
sentence of Mario.
Mario
lore.
is like a pick up and play game though. There's already no story there.
Yeah.
But Zelda does have a story, so you have to do the Zelda story.
But I think they would boil the story down to its basic elements, which is save Princess from Demon King, and they would start with that.
There is a good chance it's a completely original thing where they just kind of,
but that would be really weird.
where they just do basically their own Zelda game story, but just with a movie.
That's what I'm saying. I think they will basically make their own story. It will still be heavily inspired. It would still be heavily inspired by the other games, but it would be its own thing. It wouldn't be related to the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, do you really want an animated Zelda movie? Like, if we're gonna do a Zelda movie, let's do it in live action.
I want a live action Netflix show. Not Netflix, but like a streaming.
I wouldn't want a whole. Well, okay.
For Breath of the Wild?
Are we gonna make Link
That'd be
talk?
sick.
That's the key question.
Yes.
Are we gonna make Link talk?
Yes, you make Link talk.
Who is gonna be Link? Who's gonna play Link? Who's gonna
Pick
voice
a guy.
Link?
Pick
Chris
a person.
Pratt?
Tom Holland. Pick a guy.
Timothy
Who cares?
Chalamet?
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet probably would be a good Link, actually. Tom Holland would work. Timothy
It
Chalamet
would
would
just
work.
be they do the Mario thing again. My fear is that
I'm fine
it's
with
not even that it's Illumination. It's the fact that like the Mario movie was proven to work, even though it wasn't a good movie. And so they'll just be like, well, we'll just do the Mario movie again because that worked.
But I don't. Okay.
Throw in some pop
The Mario
songs.
movie can be awful, like story-wise.
Chris Pratt
and
can
I
be
won't care
Ganon.
because there's no story to Mario. Zelda has a story that I think is cool, that I would like to see done well. And if this is true, I know that I will never, ever see that, ever. Which I don't like.
What if Link is a little boy and he's annoying and has dumb sidekicks? What if it's
then
like minions? What if Tingle is a minion?
No, they're gonna adapt like Toon Link.
Yeah,
gonna
they
be
probably
Toon
would.
Link.
It would be Toon
It's
Link,
gonna be Toon Link,
but it wouldn't even be like the Toon Link
but
story.
not even like a good.
They'd be
Toon
like-
Link.
they'd
like
take-
Spirit Tracks Toon
They'd
Link.
take Toon Link and then they'd stick him in the original Legend of Zelda. It is going to be Toon Link, though. You're 100% right. If it's Illumination, it'll be Toon Link.
That's the only one they would do.
And he'll be a little annoying kid, and he'll have a dumb, talking
They'll
animal
do Minish
sidekick.
Cap. They'll do Minish Cap, and he'll have a
Animal
talking
Minish
hat.
Cap. That's the thing with Zelda, is all those games are so like weird and unique. Like,
Yeah, each
you
one
either
has its
gotta
own
pick
thing.
one and do weird stuff, or you gotta do like the most generic, boring thing ever.
It either will be the
Because
first.
if you do like the dumbed down, like basic version of the story, it's just elf boy with sword save princess from pig.
Zelda is so heavily like puzzle focused. I don't even know if, unless you do like Game of Thrones with Link. Those movies are awful.
Max said you could do Maze Runner with Link.
But my point is, like,
Also, those,
it's so heavily puzzle focused that I don't know that it would adapt.
but also
a
both of
movie.
those series have more than 3 characters. There's a protagonist. Like Zelda, you play as one person and you really barely interact with anyone else. Like there's no sidekicks to follow you around and wisecrack or be scared of everything and go, ooh, what's
Okay,
that?
But they could just make the champions like follow him around.
But they're dead.
Okay, so have the guys from Tears of the Kingdom. That's why I think Tears of the Kingdom would work better as a movie, but than Breath of the Wild.
Tears of the Kingdom has
Because
a
instead of having the
more of a
vows of
story.
the sages like follow him around, you could just have the actual
But
sages
again,
follow him around.
Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild are the same structurally. They're both go to each of these places, get the dudes.
See, that's why I think
and
it
then
would
go
work,
to the
it would
center
work
and
better
beat
as
up
a
the
TV
guy.
show, I think. Because you could have an episode where he goes to the Gerudo Kingdom. They like really flush out the Gerudo
Yeah.
world. You meet the characters there. He solves their problem. You rinse and repeat that for each little area of the map, and you do that 4 or 5 times. And then at the end of the season, he beats the Demon King. Like I feel like it would work so much better as a TV show. I don't.
Max said it would be Naruto with Link.
No, because Naruto doesn't really have like a central antagonist until like halfway through the show. Like Orochimaru is kind of the antagonist, but he's really just like a guy. He doesn't really do anything evil.
I don't know. A Zelda movie just kind of sounds boring to me.
I think it
Because
could.
there's no Zelda has no like impending threat.
Well, you got to save the princess.
But that's it. Like there's no like ticking clock or anything.
That's
like
why
that.
I think if you did it, Tears of the King.
There's no urgency.
There is.
Yeah, like okay, yeah, there is urgency. It's just you don't feel that while you're playing the game because you know nothing bad's gonna happen. But in a movie, you can crank up the pressure. Like Link has to save the Gerudo now, or they're gonna be dead, or like whatever. Like you can add stakes. That's not.
I just don't know how
think that's
you'd
the
make
problem.
a Zelda movie without it feeling like super episodic.
That's why I think it has to be a show.
It would work better as a show.
I don't think.
Because you can essentially, if you do a Zelda show, you can do like an Incredible Hulk type thing, like the TV show from like the 70s, where like he's drifting,
like Monster of the Week.
like he's just drifting from town to town, like solving problems, and there's somewhat of like an overarching story,
Yeah, that
and
would
then that's
work
in the
fine.
background. But like if you do like one 90-minute,
You do the
feature,
Witcher show.
Yeah,
The
but
Witcher
we're
Netflix
talking
show.
about movies though.
Well, I'm talking about a good Zelda adaptation, not necessarily movies. But I think the best version of a Zelda on-screen thing
Mm-hmm.
would be the Witcher TV show with Link.
Probably, yeah.
Because The Witcher has that exact same setup. He's a lone hero who rides around on his horse. He's got vague magic powers, and he like goes town to town solving their problems.
Yeah, I mean, you just do that. But
Yeah,
like,
that
if
would
it's
work
a
great.
movie, it's, and you also can't do sequels to the movie because it's just the same thing again.
See, that's the thing. You could,
Unless you get weird, and I feel like they would be too scared
you
to get
could,
weird.
but you'd have to stick to the lore, which is weird. Like the lore's just an excuse.
Like,
it's not even really lore.
Like, you can do base Zelda, like generic mini wheats, normal Cheerios, bland Zelda story.
unless you
And then when you get to Zelda 2, you gotta do something else. And
Unless you say-
every something else in Zelda is when they just go nuts. Like, then he's gotta be like talking to a hat, or on a ghost train, or just flying around in the sky with a magic arm.
What if they save Ganon and do like a MCU type thing, where Ganon is Thanos? Each movie he fights a villain who is like has vague ties to
Zelda?
some...
Ganon's the only villain in Zelda.
Okay, so we come up with like 4 other villains. That's not difficult. Each one is like we could have Master Koga and the Yiga clan be like a season. We could have
I'm still talking about movie. I'm not talking about show.
you could have the Yiga clan be a movie. You could have different villains be different movies,
They would never.
and then
do
you
that.
could build to Ganon.
They
They
would
would
never
never
do
do that because they would want to
Because they
blow
need
their
to put
load right
Ganon
away.
in yeah.
But if you want to make it good, that's how you would do it.
Well, if it's Illumination, that's
won't
not
be.
their goal.
Yeah, they don't care at all.
Would
Their goal is what makes money immediately.
Do you think it would crack $1 billion? Because I don't think it would. I don't think it'd make
did
as
Mario crack $1 billion?
Yeah, no, Mario made like 1.5. I don't think it'd do anything close to what Mario did.
I think a good $500 million.
Total? I
Although,
think that
you
would
know
be
what?
seen as a failure.
You know what? I think Zelda is way more popular now than it was a few years
I think
ago.
it could crack 700 to 800.
I think 700 to 800.
but it would not make $1 billion. Mario is
I don't think it would
twice
make
as
I don't think it
popular
would make
as
$1
Zelda
billion.
is.
Mario also applies to a much broader audience.
Mario has, I mean, you talk to like your average person, they've definitely played Mario Kart at some point.
yeah,
and that's all it
everyone has
takes.
played Mario Kart.
So like, not way less people have played a
No
Zelda
one's
game.
played Zelda
Because the
Kart.
only people that have played Zelda games have played the mainline Zelda games because there isn't
There
whole
are no
spin-off
spin-offs, yeah.
ecosystem, and it's not a pick up and play.
They're
game.
not as heavily marketed. They're not as heavily entrenched in like cultural marketing. Like there's no Zelda lunchbox or Zelda like pencils. Like they do exist, but they're not nearly as popular as the Mario one.
Yeah, I mean Mario's more of like a face.
Like you buy Mario stickers. No one's buying Zelda stickers.
Well, also the Mario characters are like simple and cartoony, and like
Link is a complicated.
you know who
looking
they
guy.
are. Like their personalities are real simple. Like Link doesn't have a personality.
He kind of does in like Breath of the Wild.
How would you
Tears of the
describe
Kingdom.
Link, Sam? Stoic,
Yeah.
brave.
Whatever you are. That's the
Yeah, I mean he's just a guy.
No, but they did try a little bit to give him more personality in the last 2 games, like where he gets excited when you like cook stuff and like he has like different reactions to certain NPCs. Like he does have.
If they
some
make a movie
character
about
moments,
Link learning to cook, I'll watch that one. I'll be hyped for that.
but yeah, I don't know. They'd have to make a characterization for him, like, and that's not hard to do. They've made characters before. They would just have to.
But then you're risking making everyone mad by giving him a characterization they don't like. Because
Well, that's
everyone would
gonna
have
happen
their
no matter
own
what.
version of how they want Link to be, and then if they do one, then everyone on the other side will get mad. It's just Zelda is not.
It's very
I
difficult.
don't
to
think it would
adapt.
adapt well to a movie. I really don't.
A
I know
movie,
they're
no.
gonna do it.
There's no way it would adapt well to a movie, but a show,
I mean,
a
honestly,
show I think it would be easier, but still it'd be very.
I wouldn't be
difficult.
shocked if Nintendo is just gonna do Mario movies and that's it, because that's like the guaranteed. This will work, and it will work every time, no matter the
Yeah.
quality.
Yeah,
All right,
I don't
let's-
think Zelda could adapt well to a movie. A show, I think it's possible, but it's still.
Do you think they would try anything else, like other Nintendo IPs? They tried Pokemon.
I
They
could
did
see a
Detective
Kirby
Pikachu.
movie existing,
They did that cartoon show.
and the cartoon show did do. Fairly
Kirby
well
has
for
some
a cartoon show.
characters.
I think Kirby could very easily be made.
You
into
could
an
do a
animation movie.
really, really solid baby movie with Kirby.
Exactly.
Got King DDD,
What other
Yeah,
IPs?
Waddle
What other
Dee.
big like kids?
Kirby, Meta Knight. Xenoblade.
Xenoblade will. If Xenoblade was anything, it would be an anime. They're not gonna make that into a movie.
Fire Emblem.
Same thing with that would be an anime.
Donkey Kong spin-off film.
That would just be part of the Mario franchise.
Punch Out.
Punch Out, I could see them doing. Wasn't there plans for a Punch Out movie at one point?
No. Metroid.
Metroid could definitely.
They've tried to do
know
Metroid a couple times.
I think a Metroid movie could actually work really well. Because Metroid is the only franchise that Nintendo seems to be willing to sink millions of dollars into, knowing it will make no money.
No, the problem with Metroid is you'd have to, Metroid is, if you want to do Metroid right, you'd have to make, Alien.
Yeah.
Like an Alien type thing. But that would not be for kids, and Nintendo would never make a kids movie.
But I think they understand that Metroid is, kind of a more scary franchise. Metroid Dread had, more, horror elements to it, Metroid is one of the franchises.
I think
where they're more willing to get
teen.
Yeah, they're
if they were willing to go PG-13 with Metroid, at least,
I think that could be really cool.
Then you could make a cool Metroid movie. But,
I think Metroid is one of the few IPs where they'd be willing to go that way.
I think you could make a Metroid movie that's pretty small scale as well.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it'd have to be a sci-fi thing, which is pretty expensive. But you could do
just do Alien.
You make Alien with Metroid and.
But instead of fighting Alien, have it be the robot from Dread.
Samus, and instead of Xenomorph, it's just a Metroid.
All the Metroids aren't really that scary.
Or Ridley, who cares?
Yeah, well, Ridley's kind of like an intelligent creature. The first one, I think it would be easiest to have it just be like a monster.
Yeah.
I think the robots from Dread would work the best for that. Because you could have it. Here's my pitch for the Samus. Or the Metroid.
Here we go.
So there's a ship, right, floating in space. There's a distress call going on, right? Samus gets the distress call. She goes to the ship. She goes in there, lights off. Super dark. Some of them scary robots from Dread are in there. They're killing people. Samus got to fight them. And she gets the MacGuffin to fight them, blows them all up, and leaves. Just do Alien, but with a robot.
Yeah. I love looking at, this is completely unrelated, but I love looking at movie theater, ticket sites, ahead of time. And you'll see, the poor sad sacks who buy one seat by themselves in the corner of the theater because they're seeing The Flash, but no one would go with them. They were too ashamed to sit in the middle.
That might be because of the Flash.
It's sad.
All right, let's talk about the next thing. Are we ready for
let's run through Summer of Games
the big
before I go
Summer
into
of
a
Games
coma.
stuff? Oh, do we want to put this on the TV so you can see what I'm doing?
What are you eating?
Whatever. I guess it doesn't matter. All right. So let's start off with the first of the show. There were a bunch of different game showcases. The ones that I went through is Summer of Games, the Xbox showcase, and the I have to scroll a while. The Ubisoft Forward event. So I think they are still going on. I think there are still events happening right now. These are the three that have happened since the last episode we did. So to start things off, we had Summer of Games. The first game they announced was Immortals of Avium, which is sort of a first-person shooter wizard gauntlet type game where it's like an RPG. There's a story going on. You're the wizard who knows all the three different magics. Blast your way through the enemies, right? Do you want me to put this on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about?
I don't care.
Okay, this is going to be a long segment, so do you want to fall asleep or not?
I mean, if I know what it is, I have opinions. If I don't, I'm just that looks fun.
Most of this stuff is new stuff, though.
Yeah, I mean...
So, okay, it's
going to take forever.
But yeah, so this is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. There's not much else to say about that.
I don't know what the story of Final Fantasy.
It's a sequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake. I mean, that was a very popular game.
It's just that's weird.
A lot of people do care about that.
Yeah, I'm sure I know there's fans, but it's weird that they're making Final Fantasy VII 2, but it's.
I mean, it's a natural
thing.
follow-up. It makes sense to me. Anyway, okay.
Camera's really far away from you.
That's how it is. Next up, we got the Spider-Man 2 release date announced. You can see this.
Yeah, no, that's why I was commenting on it.
All right, well, that is what it is.
You're just not gonna take it down.
Well, I can desync the whole thing.
Look at that.
Okay, there. Yeah, so we got the announcement for the date for Spider-Man 2, which is October 20th.
Ooh,
So that's coming out this year, which is
Can't
cool.
wait to finally need a reason to buy a PS5.
New Prince of Persia game.
Ooh. Are we ever gonna get is the PS5 Slim Pro? Are we supposed to get a new version of the PS5 sometime soon?
It has not been announced or rumored at all.
I saw rumors of a PS5 Pro.
There's always rumors, but there's no like real rumors yet.
I just want a Pro so that the normal one will drop in price.
Yeah, maybe one day. We got a new Prince of Persia game called The Last Crown.
We're trying this again?
Which is coming to all platforms next year. It is a action platform. It's a 2D action platformer.
Oh, so it's like a spin-off. Is it like...
It's like Rayman.
All right, yeah, that's a spin-off. Whatever.
It looks pretty cool.
They were supposed to remake Prince of Persia, weren't they? And then it like got scrapped, or
they're always remaking something.
I think it's in development hell. Like, it's just
yeah,
taking
probably.
forever.
We got Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, which
Is that the full title?
Yes. Which is okay. So you know the Yakuza games?
Yeah, I know.
The third one's
Is Yakuza Like a Dragon?
Yes. This is a spin-off of that.
But it's the main character from that game.
I think, yeah.
So it's really a sequel. They just changed the title from Yakuza to Like a Dragon.
Yeah, it's Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name.
Sure. I mean, no.
And that comes out November 9th. Right. Sonic Superstars, which is a new 2D Sonic.
Is this the Sonic Mania people? Did they let them make like an actual Sonic game? Because if they did, then I'm excited.
I think that's what it looks like. I'm not sure. I didn't really look into it. I just kind of saw the thing and wrote it down.
No, it isn't.
But it doesn't look bad.
Corporation?
It just looks like a Sonic game.
Let's see. This is the Balan Wonderworld.
Well, that's a good sign.
Oh, Sam. These people have a terrible track record.
What else did they make?
Okay. Let me read some of these games they made. We Play Motion.
That's not bad.
Sam.
I mean, it's not really a game, but it's not like bad technically.
They made Street Pass for Me Plaza, the 3DS.
Street Pass is cool. That's a fun little game.
Made Yoshi's New Island, which is
that
on all
pretty
accounts
good.
terrible. Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games.
That's a video game. I've heard that
for
is
the
a game.
3DS. They didn't do the Wii U version.
Oh.
Hey
one I have not
Pikmin.
heard of. Everyone loved Hey Pikmin.
Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey.
People do actually like that game.
But they did the remaster. They didn't do like the original game.
Well, that's good.
Balan Wonderworld.
It's a great game. Everyone knows that that's one of the most critically acclaimed games.
iPhone game called Fantasian.
No, that game is actually super cool.
I knew you would know what that is because I looked at it and it was anime and I was like,
no, it's just like a JRPG. It's the only actual video game on the Apple Arcade thing.
What a track record, Sam. Nothing but hits.
That game's only interesting because instead of like rendering 3D like landscapes for the characters to be in, they built dioramas and did like 3D scans of them, so they're walking around in like realistic little worlds.
It's gonna be on Nintendo Switch. Sonic Superstars is.
Well, I would hope so. It's coming to all platforms.
Yeah.
All right, we also got Johnny Carpenter's
I just wanted to say,
Commando.
You know what the Sonic franchise should do?
Stop existing?
Stop with these. Just stop.
Yeah, just
cancel everything
just don't make them
that you're working on. Take all the Sonic Mania people who have made the only truly good Sonic game in like 20 years. Let them just have Sonic be a 2D series, and then just have them make all the games.
Yeah, just stop making Sonic.
Just do it in like just do it in a better art. Just take away the 16-bit art style.
Just 3D it.
And just 3D and just
3D model it.
Just go. That's all they needed. 2.5D.
That's all they need to do.
That's all they ever needed to do, and they just don't.
Yeah, so Johnny Carpenter's Toxic Commando
Johnny Carpenter's.
Uh-huh.
Called John Carpenter's.
Oh, I didn't read it right. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando.
Real quick. Do you know who that is?
I do not.
Okay.
Should I know who that is?
Do you think the game is like you play as John Carpenter? Like the guy?
No, I know it's like some developer guy. It's like some creative guy. Like that's not the name of the character in the game.
He directed the original Halloween from 1978.
Okay, cool.
He also did The Thing.
He also directed this game called Toxic
They
Commando.
Live? No, I think he just wrote like the story for it. I think I saw
the story.
I think I saw he tweeted that.
So okay, this game actually does look kind of cool. You fight like whole armies of zombies, and like you drive around in like Mad Max style cars, and you're like mowing them down, and you got your crew. It looks pretty fun.
I'm happy that John Carpenter's doing something other than just slowly decaying.
I'm hoping this comes to Xbox, so I will have a reason to own an Xbox.
Is it which presentation was this? Was it just
This
the
was part of
Summer
Summer of Games, so this
I've
this
got
is
Xbox.
multi-plat.
Finally, John Carpenter's doing something.
But yeah, so it's like a big, massive scale zombie survival horror shooter, which looks cool. It looks fun.
Sandland.
You have Sandland, which is an anime-style desert adventure game by Bandai Namco.
Bandai Namco's doing something?
Yeah, they're making Sandland.
I'm just kind of shocked by
It
that.
looks really boring.
Is it a Pac-Man spinoff?
No, just a game.
And what the heck is going on?
The Witcher Season 3
They
is...
just played a trailer for The Witcher
Just played
season
a
3?
Witcher Season 3
Okay.
trailer.
The last season with Henry Cavill.
The last good season.
No, Sam. Liam Hemsworth is gonna be the GOAT. All right, you're gonna love
Why
him.
don't they just rehire
Did you
Henry
even
Cavill?
watch the second season?
Yeah,
Yeah, you did. Did you watch any of the spin-offs they did?
the animated ones?
They did this animated one, and then they did like a prequel.
No, because the animated one actually wasn't related to The Witcher at all. It was supposed to be a different show, and
Oh,
then
they
they
just
just
slapped
put The
The
Witcher's
Witcher on
name
it?
on it for no reason.
I saw the Blood Origin.
Yeah,
was
Blood Origin
terrible.
is the one that is like unrelated.
Everyone hates that one.
Yeah, because it's unrelated in every way. It has nothing to do with The Witcher.
Can't wait.
And then
Mortal
there was
Kombat 1.
Mortal Kombat 1 gameplay, which we have recently started playing Mortal Kombat because it's like on everything, and so sometimes we play it when we're bored.
It's fun.
It's pretty fun. Excited for Mortal Kombat 1. It looks like Mortal Kombat
I get why
11.
they're rebooting it.
Yeah, because the lore is really
The
dumb.
lore is stupidly complicated.
It makes no sense. Alan Wake 2 got an extended gameplay
All
reveal.
4 people are hyped.
Hey, Wood from Beat 'em Ups really likes Alan Wake.
I'm sure he does.
He's the second person who's played it other than Donkey.
Mhm. Isn't this one not getting a physical release? I saw something about that. It's going to be one of the first AAA games exclusively released on digital stores.
Yeah,
They're not going to do
I
a
mean,
physical copy.
I don't care about that at all because I don't want this.
Because you
game.
know why? Because Alan Wake 2 is going to sell 2 copies regardless of where it's being sold.
Yep.
Why are they doing? Who said Alan Wake 2 is a good idea?
Probably Jake Gyllenhaal. He's probably was just like, hey, can we make another one?
Is he in it?
Yeah, he's the main character.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, it's the guy from Spider-Man.
It is
Spider-Man
not
No Way
even
Home.
involved.
Spider-Man.
What are you
whatever
talking
the thing is.
about?
I'm pretty sure his name is Jake. I think it's Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's not. It just isn't.
Yeah, that's him.
That's true, Sam. Alan Wake. Who plays Alan Wake? Plays Alan Wake. It's not Jake Gyllenhaal. It's a guy named.
Oh, that's the voice actor.
Really? Cool. All right.
Yeah, he's modeled after Jake Gyllenhaal though. Oh he just happens to look like really similar
Yeah,
to him.
it's not Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, but look at him though. He looks just like Jake
I'm
Gyllenhaal.
sure he does. All right.
Oh,
Xbox
look.
Game Showcase. I believe you.
Look, that's what he looks like.
Okay.
He looks like Jake Gyllenhaal.
All right.
It's creepy. Anyway,
All right, Sam. Xbox.
yes, time for the Xbox showcase.
More Fable. They're doing Fable again.
So they're making Fable again. You play as a little small guy.
Is this Fable 3 or are they rebooting?
They're rebooting it. This
Was
is
it
a
Fable
new-
4? Which one did they not make?
Fable 3 was the last one.
Okay.
I know because all of them are on Xbox Game
And now
Pass.
they're restarting.
They're restarting it with
Going
Fable.
back to Fable 1.
It's just called Fable. You're a small guy.
Fun. South of Midnight.
South of Midnight, which is the art style is kind of like
Exorcism
claymation-y, which
game?
looks cool. Yeah, you play as like this character who's going around like banishing evil
That
spirits.
sounds fun.
It looks really. I do want to pull up the trailer for this one because it does look really cool.
South of Midnight. This is kind of weird. It looks like well, let me.
Here, I'll put it on the screen real quick so you can see it.
Yeah, it's got like that 24 frames per. It kind of looks like Arcane.
So here's the trailer for this.
Yeah, it's got like that like.
I'll skip ahead a little bit
hand-sculpted
so we
type
can but yeah, it's got like 24 frames animation. This character looks really cool and he's singing like a southern type song. You can't.
Yeah,
hear
it kind of looks like Arcane.
Actually, wait, I think we can unmute game trailers because I think those are allowed to be not muted.
Anyway, an exorcism-based game sounds cool. I wonder how that's gonna work. I'm never gonna play it, but it sounds cool.
I might play it because it's on Game Pass, and so I won't have to pay for it.
Star Wars Outlaws.
All right, this one is a big deal.
Star Wars till we die.
So this game has been. A lot of people thought Star Wars Eclipse was coming out later this year. Because
No, we knew Star Wars Eclipse was pretty much never going to happen.
Yeah, we know that. People don't know that. People thought that the rumors about this game were Star Wars Eclipse.
No, Star Wars Eclipse. The trailer when they revealed Star Wars Eclipse at I think it was.
As soon as I
the
saw it,
Game
I was like,
Awards?
"Oh, that's never gonna."
No,
exist.
they had been. That was it. They didn't even know what the game was going to be when they
Yeah.
did that trailer. There was just like stuff,
random
random
Star Wars
stuff.
imagery.
They were just like put together the images of Star Wars. I don't know.
But yeah, so here we can see
This is an actual game.
some rebel ships flying around. We got some storm. So this takes place in between episodes 5 and 6, which is a really odd place to set a game. Because it's only a 1-year period. There's no other big media that takes place during that time.
They're doing it because they want to put it in the Empire era so that it can have all of the Star Wars things we know I've seen 700 times. But now they don't have to be constantly asked if Cal Kestis is going.
Yes. All of those things are true. Also, they said it's because that's when the syndicates were like the most powerful.
But it wasn't.
That's what
I guess the Death Star was blown up, but like
yeah,
the Empire.
It's because the Empire was starting to weaken.
I guess because they were focusing on the
and
rebels
the rebels
or something.
were too busy fighting the Empire to like focus on like curbing. Crime.
I'm glad they're focusing on the syndicates though.
Yeah,
They're doing like weird crime stuff. I'd much rather them do that than you play as rebel fighter Bagungus.
You know what this reminds me of?
Stormtroopers.
You know what this reminds me of?
Star Wars 13.
Star Wars 13.
Yeah. I think this is
what that became.
Well, no, that game was thrown in the trash, but like I'm sure like this is.
But the concept,
spiritually, this is very similar.
You play as an outlaw bounty hunter type character.
Yeah.
It's an open world game. And we can look at they did do a gameplay reveal at the other event. We'll look at that when we get there. But the gameplay looks really good. I mean, it looks like Uncharted.
It looks like Uncharted.
It's an open world Uncharted game basically, that's a cool idea.
In space.
And if you can go to, I don't know how many different planets they're gonna do, because that's gotta be really
when they say
hard.
open world, I'm thinking like
open town.
Yeah, I mean, because you can't obviously if they put
this is not Starfield. There's no way that this is Starfield.
No, if they put more than one planet in the game, you can't explore that would take forever to make.
Yeah. Now the worlds they do show off look really cool.
I think it's really like there's 8 planets. Each of them has a big location, and you can wander around the location.
I just know that this game is gonna come out unfinished, and I'm gonna be sad.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not.
It just every time
it won't be done. It'll run like garbage.
Single time. I just
run like
want
trash.
Good Star Wars. I want good
It looks
Star
cool
Wars.
though, and I like the droid. I like how it's what are those? It's commando droids.
Yeah, commando droid with a jacket.
Little too.
Why he needs a jacket, I don't know.
Hey, at least it
looks cool though.
I mean, it's obvious that he's just K2SO, but like,
I want that little axolotl thing, and I know they know that I want that axolotl thing. I want it anyway.
Character for
because it's a little cute. He's an axolotl, but he's not a gross axolotl like real ones. He's a cute version.
Star Wars Outlaws looks fun.
It does look cool. I'm excited.
I'll give them bonus points if they can go an entire piece of Star Wars media without a Jedi showing up at the end. Or at any
there
point
will
during
probably
the
be like a Jedi, but he's probably like old and
Look,
sad.
it's Luke Skywalker.
I don't think Luke's gonna show up.
You
that
don't
was
think
the
they
dumbest
will?
part of
You know
Battlefront
what?
2 is that mission in Battlefront 2 where you go through this whole thing and then you get to the end of the little level and then Luke's just like, oh yeah, hi, bye bye.
You know what's interesting is this is the same time period as this kind of concept of the game is a little bit of what Shadows of the Empire kind of did. So I wonder if they'll work some of that kind of stuff into this.
That would be cool.
They work in what's his face, the green guy.
No,
which
green guy?
The guy's he's like the main villain in is his name Shizor, something like that.
I don't remember.
He's the villain of Heir to the Empire, but he's the leader of Black Sun.
Oh, I think he's
Not
dead.
Heir to the Empire,
I think he's
Shadows
dead
of
in
the Empire.
canon though.
Who cares?
Because he got Darth Maul cut his head off.
Well, he
remember?
cut off a bunch of those guys, but they didn't say that.
Well, I didn't know if it was that one specifically, but it could probably.
Hey,
was
if
that
they
guy.
don't in Star Wars, if they don't explicitly say this character is dead, then he's alive. Prince Zizor.
You know what is
Shizor?
kind of dumb?
Whatever. Bring him in. Bring in Dax Rendar.
You know what is a little dumb though? Like this whole for the last like 10 years, they were hyping up Darth Maul as like the ruler of the underworld, right?
And
then the first time we get a piece of media about like the really going in depth on the Star Wars underworld, it's in an era where he's dead. Like he's gone now. He doesn't affect anything.
well, they were gonna do that in the Solo sequels that
never
got
happened.
made. Maybe they'll do it in the Lando show.
I doubt it, but maybe.
I mean, what else are they gonna do in the Lando show?
All right,
What do
but
you
this
do
is
with
coming
Lando?
out
At some point in
2024. Yeah. Next up,
So Christmas of 2024.
yeah, probably. The next game on the list was 33 Immortals, which is it was really kind of hard to tell what this game is about, but it looked to be some kind of 2D
My God, there's
animated story RTS game. It looked a little weird.
whatever.
Payday 3.
Did we know this exists?
Payday 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This comes out September 21st.
I saw that they revealed the release date, but I was like, did we know they were even making Payday 3?
Oh, we didn't know that they were making that
Okay.
because I don't really care about Payday. But it is a pretty big. It isn't
No, I know
actually a
people
AAA
play Payday.
franchise.
Yeah, people play Payday.
And it does. I mean, they're fun games. It's like if you took GTA and it was just only the fun part, and then you just took out the rest of the stuff.
Persona 3, they're remaking Persona 3.
Persona 3 is getting a remake. However,
Interesting.
it is not a remake of the expanded version of the game where you could play as the female antagonist or the female protagonist, and it had like some bonus content that took place after the game. They're not. So you know how they did the Pokemon Gen 4 remakes, and it was only a remake of the original Diamond and Pearl, not like Platinum where they had like extra stuff. It's like that. It's a bare bones remake of just the original thing.
Avowed. This is Obsidian's, right?
Yeah.
This is their Skyrim.
We saw a trailer for this, I think 2 or 3
It
years
was revealed
ago.
a while ago, and
it
everyone just kind of
looked-
thought it died.
It looked really sick, and then we got a trailer for it recently,
Coming out next year.
and it looks okay. Does not look as good
Is
as
the
it did
people
the
who made
first time.
Outer Worlds 1 and 2, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which are like a bunch of ex-Bethesda.
So they made Fallout New Vegas, I think, and they made
they made like Morrowind.
yeah, something like that. And then they quit, and they formed their own company, and they essentially just made
More of those.
their own Fallout, and this is their own Elder Scrolls.
It doesn't look bad. It just looks it looks like it's missing a little polish.
Yeah.
Next up, we got something real weird. Lucasfilm Games is teaming up with Sea of Thieves to make The Legend of Monkey Island.
So they're doing Monkey Island stuff in Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
Makes sense. They
And
already did the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, so
They did do the
it's
Pirates of the
Disney.
Caribbean stuff, which is Disney stuff, and then this is also Disney stuff.
Yeah.
But this is like a full story game within Sea of Thieves, and it's free to all players.
It's like a whole DLC campaign.
Yeah,
Neat.
and it's free, which is really
I think
cool.
I know 2 people who, I don't know if they still do, but they
I have
play
some
Sea of
friends who
Thieves.
are really into Sea of Thieves.
There are people who love Sea of Thieves, man.
Well, I mean, it took like
I don't
like
get it, but
30
sure.
years to get developed.
Yeah, it did take them a really long time.
It's rare.
This was a Rare.
Yeah, this is Rare's only.
I'm happy
current
someone's
game.
playing a Rare game. I wish
The
Rare
only
would make
game they
another game.
Make another game, please. Good lord. All right,
Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah, so there's a new Microsoft Flight Simulator coming.
Let's go!
Which now has like rescue, firefighting, cargo delivery, racing,
Cargo delivery.
air balloons,
What?
blimps. So basically, you know how Microsoft Flight Simulator was just a flight simulator?
Yep, and there was no game.
So
they added a game.
They added the game part,
Cool.
which it actually looks cool. It doesn't look bad, so that's fun.
Since also had the vehicles from Dune.
Yeah, they're adding the vehicles from Dune, like that,
Like the big
that big dragonfly thing.
in the realistic flight simulator.
They have the Halo spaceship in Microsoft Flight
They
Simulator right now.
do?
Yeah. They always have like one like cool just like for
Okay.
fun. thing.
Whatever.
It's just like, hey, it's cool.
Hellblade 2.
Hellblade 2
Was that
got a
next year?
story cinematic. We got no gameplay.
Did we know about this one for a while, right?
They announced this last year and they showed like a half cinematic, half gameplay trailer.
Cool.
And we have learned nothing about it since. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth was revealed. This is a different spin-off of Yakuza Like a Dragon. And the intro for this one is really weird. Like the main
Unless
character
it's the same game and they changed
he
the title.
washes up on a beach and he's naked and he like everyone's like screaming at him and he's in America. This one takes place in America.
Cool.
Which it looks
It should take place
goofy and
in
funny.
Kansas City, Missouri.
they are really pumping out the Yakuza games. I feel like the last like 3 years
It's
they've just
Sega.
been pumping the crap
Yeah,
out
they
of them.
don't do anything else. They just do Yakuza and they do Sonic.
And each
that's
one
it.
is like really big too. Like each one has like a bajillion
They must be
million
like
side quests.
giant in Japan. Because nobody
Maybe.
plays them
I don't
here.
know. I mean, Video Game Donkey likes them,
But in video game, he plays everything.
but yeah, that's all he does. Atlantic City was added to Fallout 76, which is
We're still doing
getting
that?
updates for some reason.
We're not done with Fallout 76.
It's not. They were really pushing this one too. They were like, look at all the cool stuff. We
They're
had a
always
whole
pushing it.
area. We had all this new campaign stuff. And I'm like, dude.
Remember
no
when
one
they
cares.
were like super proud of themselves for putting a battle royale in Fallout 76? They were like,
Yep.
"F yeah, we're putting a battle royale in Fallout," and then all the people.
no one cared.
No, they paid a bunch of people in the audience to be like, "Yeah, woo!" They used to do that when they would go to E3 and they do like the actual. They would literally pay people.
Oh, the
in the
Ubisoft
audience.
event had that.
They do the same thing.
Yeah, they had a paid
They would
audience.
literally just pay people to be like, "Yay, I love Fallout."
And then the next game up was Path of the Goddess, which looks fun. It's a hack and slash like Japanese monster killing fantasy game from Capcom.
Who cares? Talk about Forza
cool.
Motorsport.
Forza Motorsport got a reveal.
New one? What is this one? 15?
They got.
Is this one just called Forza Motorsport?
I think so.
Oh, they're rebooting.
Yeah, it's
Get rid of the
It's
numbers.
a Forza game. Who cares?
Get rid of the numbers.
Elder
They should do the same with Madden.
Yeah, probably.
Just take away the numbers. This one's just Madden. It's just Madden again.
Elder Scrolls Online is getting a new update. It's
As
about.
it does every
Did
day.
you ever play Skyrim?
No.
Okay, well,
It would...
there are two main villains in Skyrim, Malik and Alduin. This one is sort of has to do with the dimension that Malik is stuck in for most
Remember
of the
when they
game,
announced Elder Scrolls 6 like a half a decade ago?
and have said nothing since.
Literally not a single thing.
Probably because
except
they've
for a
been making their
JPEG logo.
space game for the last 25 years, which we will get into in a minute.
Overwatch 2,
Overwatch 2 stuff. So, we got a trailer for the campaign,
which they're not making.
which is completely undercut by the fact that they said they didn't finish it, as well as some other new modes, including co-op, like there's some new game modes, co-op modes, and hero mastery modes.
Great. Persona 5 Tactics, is that like a mobile game?
It's not a mobile game, but it's sort of like Fire Emblem, but with Persona 5 characters.
Cool.
And it's like
Starfield.
Starfield. So, okay. This was just the part they talked about in their showcase. This isn't the whole direct they did for Starfield, because I didn't watch all that, because that's insane.
That's too much.
It looks a lot better than it did last year. To give them credit, it doesn't look like a 360 game anymore.
I saw the graphics look really good.
They look great. It's got a September 6th release date. However, and we're not going to talk about the whole Starfield direct because I don't care about it. There's a big but. There's a big elephant-sized but in the room. And that is that the game, which is an Xbox exclusive, is locked to 30 FPS on console. Not on PC, which it is also releasing on, but on console.
Which is exclusive to Xbox.
It's exclusive to Xbox.
So on your Xbox Series X, which is touted as the most powerful video game system ever created,
Which I guess is technically true.
it does not run over 30 frames per second.
Their flagship game that they've been working on for their quote 25 years.
I try, because I don't see anything wrong with this.
It's just pathetic.
That is pathetic. Well, the game's running at 4K.
It runs at only on the Series X though. On the Series S, it's 1440p.
But both of them, 30 FPS.
Both of them are locked to 30 FPS.
I would.
You can't even turn the resolution down and up the frame
No,
rate.
you can't. They're like, no, you will play this game at 30 FPS.
Yeah,
Well, I don't get it.
I don't either. And they said in their presentation, they got it to run between 60 and 70 frames. They locked it to maintain consistency. So either that's a lie and you didn't do that, or you're just really stupid.
I think they just don't know how to optimize their game, and it's easier for them if they just put the graphics power to 4K. And
But it's an
frame rate to 30.
exclusive. Why can't you optimize the
Because
game?
they're lazy. Bethesda is famously lazy.
Yeah,
They've been using the same engine since Elder Scrolls 4.
including this game. This game is in the same engine as Elder Scrolls 5.
Hmm?
Otherwise, there was
Just
Skyrim, which released 13 years ago.
All right,
Just about.
we can skip a bunch of these. City Skylines 2. Cool. Cyberpunk 2077 DLC.
Yeah, so it was introduced by Keanu Reeves. He was like super hyped about it, because of course he is. They showed a trailer for it. It looks cool. It's just more Cyberpunk. If you
Black
like Cyberpunk,
Xbox
you like
Series
this.
X.
Yeah. Okay. So hold up. You're skipping ahead a lot.
I know, but
City Skylines 2.
We got to move on to do other stuff.
This is the last thing we got.
We have to talk about.
We got to talk about Transformers. That's not going to take that long. There was a new Black Xbox Series X released, which has a terabyte of storage, doubling the storage from the original unit, and costs $50 more. So there is no reason to buy the regular one. Buy this one. If you don't, you're just kind of
this one costs more.
$50 more. It's $150 for the expansion card.
So this one's
Has double the storage.
$350.
Yeah.
And the normal
Normal
X is
300.
still $5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or well, $600. It's $599.
I thought it was.
It's $600. I'm pretty sure. It's not $499. I know that.
I don't think it's $600. Oh, well, scalped. It's $800.
Well,
that's,
not scalped. It should be $600.
yeah, it's $500.
Yeah, it's $5 like $49 or $5.99, right?
It's $500.
Just
$4.99.
$4.99. Oh, okay. Well, that's not as expensive as I thought. They did say that they were up. They've upped all their supply lines and.
Yeah, they are finally starting to see Xbox Series X's and PS5s just sitting out in the wild.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, let's talk about the Ubisoft Forward event, which was, oh my god, hilariously awful. We're talking 2008 level game presentation here. This brought me back to the days when E3 was hard to watch. It had constant like skipping, crashes. Every time they played a cinematic trailer, the audio straight up would not work. And then at two different points, it just crashed and was a black screen for over a minute.
Sick, dog.
Now to start things off, they had a group of like dancers doing their little dance thing, which to reveal Just Dance 2024. Which I thought we stopped doing that. Why are we still having like dancers like reveal the Just Dance games?
They do that every year.
They do that every year, but why are we still doing it?
I don't know.
Do they think we don't know that that's what that means when you bring dancers out on the stage?
Oh, here come the Just Dancers.
I wonder what they're going to announce.
Recon 3.
All right, but we did get one actual game reveal right off the bat. We got a big boy, and that is the Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora game. So let me get that trailer pulled up here.
I'm looking at the other stuff they announced, and like half of it's Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get into that. It is so weird what they're doing with Assassin's Creed right now.
Are you trying to Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora?
Let me get this on the TV so you can see it.
Does this count as one of the Avatar sequels?
If you wanted to. So this was their world premiere trailer. Yeah, it is said that all Na'vi are defined by their actions. I
don't know who says that.
Sure,
but
someone says that. Of course they do. Now, to be clear, the game does not look bad.
No, it looks good.
But it's Ubisoft, so it's going to be bad. But it doesn't look bad.
No, Ubisoft can make good games.
Name a game that they finished.
Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Name a game that Nintendo didn't force them to finish that they finished.
And I can barely name Ubisoft games in general.
Because they don't make
They
any
don't really
games.
make anything. They just make Tom Clancy crap.
I'm honestly, for what Avatar is, I'm a
playing
little
one
bit
of the
So the story is that you are one of a group of Na'vi who were kidnapped as a child and raised by humans.
Okay.
To fight against the Na'vi. But then after the events of the first movie, all the humans leave because that's what they do. They tried to kill all of the kids, but you were freed by that scientist lady. Then you were put into cryosleep and woke up, and all the humans were gone. I don't know why they did the cryosleep thing, if that's the story anyway, but whatever. And then you have to go out and you got to learn to be a Na'vi, even though you've been raised as a human.
Oh, so who are you supposed to fight?
The humans come back.
Oh, because it's Avatar.
Yeah, because it's Avatar.
And the humans just come back like every couple of months.
Yeah, they just come back every once in a while.
We'll get you next time, Na'vi.
It looks good, but not as good as I would expect a game known from this series to look.
Yeah.
I would expect an Avatar, because Avatar is known for just pushing the bounds of effects.
Looks a little PS3 era.
I think it looks it looks like a PS4 game, but it's a PS5 game.
Yeah.
And it's Avatar.
It's almost as if the PS5 and the PS4 are about the same in terms of quality.
Well, well, they're not supposed to be. They just refuse to make games at higher qualities because it takes too long.
Because if we put the game in 4K, then we have to cap it at 30 FPS.
Because we don't know how to optimize games anymore.
Oh, look, it's the evil military, and they have
Yeah, so
guy.
Evil Military is back.
Use your Navi powers to fight a big bird. And
They
hit him
do
with a
eventually.
stick.
We'll skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, here we got some gameplay.
It's
we got
first person?
You're ripping
Okay.
dudes out. You got missile launchers. Okay, it looks like Just Cause 3, but with
With
Navi.
Avatar?
No, that's basically you go through enemy camp, destroying the enemies and like freeing the country. Like that. It's Just Cause 4, but with Navi instead of a guy with a jetpack or whatever.
Cool.
It looks cool. If it comes out on Game Pass, I'll check it out. If it
It'll cost
doesn't,
$70.
I won't, 'cause
Is
I
this gonna
don't
be?
care that
This
much.
is Ubisoft.
it is Ubisoft.
So it'll
They
be
do have some
on,
stuff on Game Pass, so we'll see.
It'll be on PS5 as well, I guess.
Yes, it is supposed
It
to
won't be on the Switch
It will not be on the Switch
because it'll kill the
That
Switch.
is true, because it would catch the Switch on fire.
That
if they
is
did
probably accurate.
All right, let me get back to my show
All right,
notes here.
Tom Clancy.
Yes, so the Tom Clancy Division trailer played with no audio.
Cool.
There was a trailer for Captain Laserhawk, which a Blood Dragon remix, which is not a video game. It is a Netflix show that they pretended was a video game.
An animated series.
Yeah, very confusing. A random band sang a sea shanty to introduce a Skull and Bones trailer.
Another game that will never come
Another
out.
game that is never coming out. We got Mario plus Rabbids 2 Sparks of Hope DLC announced in a flash reel
Okay.
that they did not go into any detail about. I'm assuming because Nintendo's going to do their own event here in a few months and they didn't want to step
No,
on
they
their toes.
won't. I don't think they are.
I think they will probably in like
I
fall.
think they're gonna do a partner showcase,
Yeah, that's what this would be in.
and then they'll do a direct like in like October.
Yeah, they'll do a partner showcase here in like a month and then they'll do a direct in the fall. Just what I just said. Yeah. The Crew Motorfest guy kept pausing to read the teleprompter, and the game was running really bad in the
Wasn't
trailer.
this pre-recorded?
No, it was live.
This was live. Were they
It was
doing it like in front of an
live.
audience?
Uh-huh.
So they just filmed an E3 presentation,
Uh-huh.
but not at E3.
Uh-huh.
Why did we get rid of E3 if we're all
it's
just gonna?
hilarious how
No,
bad
but,
this
like,
event was.
Why did we get rid of E3 if everyone's just gonna do E3?
I don't know. And the game ran poorly and the audio kept breaking. Assassin's Creed Nexus VR is coming to MetaQuest 2. Again, there was no audio during the trailer, so I don't know what was going on in
What
this.
is Codename Jade?
So, Codename Jade is the new Assassin's Creed game. This one takes place in China, although the gameplay
I thought
looks
the new
the
one
same
was
as Odyssey.
Mirage.
No, Mirage is a different one. That's the one right below this. Assassin's Creed Mirage takes place in the Middle East. Again, there was no audio during the trailer, so I have no idea what the game is about. But it takes place in the Middle
I'm
East.
pretty sure Mirage is the main one though.
Mirage.
I think
Okay.
Jade is a
No,
spinoff.
Mirage is their return to form. They're trying to go back to the original formula.
Mhm.
Assassin's Creed Codename Jade is in the open world style that like Odyssey and was in like Valhalla and like those games.
This is all too confusing.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
This just makes my brain hurt.
You know, like Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and 3.
I'm reading the Wikipedia article and it says like 8 different Assassin's Creed games, and
Well, there's
I'm
Codename
not
Red.
even sure any of them
There's
exist.
Codename Red, which is
Yeah.
still coming out, which is their ninja game.
That's in feudal Japan.
Yes, there's
Then there's
Assassin's.
Hex, which is set in Central Europe in the 16th
Yeah.
century.
Then there's also Codename Jade, which is the China
and then
one.
Assassin's Creed Infinity
I didn't say anything about
and
that one.
Assassin's Creed Mirage. This is whatever. You win. You win Assassin's Creed.
And then we
You
got
me.
actual gameplay for Star Wars Outlaws.
Which looks fine.
Although the guy in the trailer kept saying Star Wars quotes and like no one ever said like he kept expecting applause and no one responded, which
he said a thing.
which was
I know.
hilarious. And when they played the gameplay reveal for this, the only audio that played was like the music and like the background sound effects, but whenever a character was talking, it wouldn't play their dialogue. This whole event was so
That's
broken.
weird.
Yeah, it's Uncharted but Star
Are you
Wars.
sure it wasn't you?
No, because they had the chat replay on there, so because I thought it was my computer, but I went into the chat replay and everyone's like, "Why is there no audio? Where'd the audio go? What's going on?" It's actually hilarious how awful this event was.
Well, that's news, everybody.
And then they go back and explain like more in depth some of the different games they revealed, but Oh my gosh, their event was I think the worst gaming event I've ever seen.
Well, that's saying something.
All right.
Well,
What do we have now? Just Transformers?
Sam, I think it's time we finally, after 7.5 hours of recording,
See, how long has this one been going for? 2.5. That's
hmm,
this is gonna be one of those 3-hour episodes.
great.
One loves those.
So we're gonna finally get into Transformers:
Rise
of the
of the Boost.
Beasts. This is the 7th Transformers film, although it's a prequel. It's
Sort of.
It's a follow-up to Bumblebee. Events of that movie are mentioned loosely in passing.
Yeah, they mention it once.
Yeah. This is maybe a prequel to the Bay movies, but also not really because it contradicts them.
But also the Bay movies contradict themselves too.
Yes, and this one is
Because
set
in the last night, Optimus was like fighting in World War II, and then he arrives on Earth in the first
Yeah.
one. So, you know,
Yeah, and also, so this one is set in 1994. Sam, tell us what this Transformers film is about.
so in the past, but also in the future, there were two gorillas talking about a magic rock. Then Megatron, but different, comes up and he goes, "Give me your magic rock." The gorilla goes, "No, I will die." And he dies. And the other gorilla takes the rock and they go into space, but not into space. They go into the past of Earth. And they land
No,
on
I
Earth.
think they do go
and
into
presumably they do nothing for several thousand years.
They pretend to be monkeys.
Then we flash forward to the regular Autobots and a lady who works in a museum, and she finds the magic crystal. And then a street thief named Guy finds Pete Davidson robot.
What was his name?
I don't remember. A street guy meets Pete Davidson car, and they become buddies, and then they help steal the crystal from the museum. But then,
the bad evil
Scourge
robots
is
show
here,
up,
and he's invincible. But they don't say that till later.
and
But he's literally
hijinks
invincible.
ensue.
He tries to take the crystal. He fails.
Noah,
Noah was his name.
that's
Sure.
his name.
Bumblebee is spoilers, and then Optimus goes, "No." This happens in like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
You can't. You're so bad at. Oh my god.
What do you
So
want me
bad.
to say? This movie was awful.
I don't want you to recount. I just want you to summarize. Like, tell me the synopsis.
Generally speaking,
Tell them what the plot
Unicron
is.
tells his minions to go get a magic crystal from Earth. The Autobots defend the magic crystal.
That's all I wanted you to say.
That's nothing. That means nothing. None of those words have any meaning because I haven't explained anything.
Because you don't need to.
But then they don't know what I'm saying.
All right. Well, okay. So generally, I thought this one was honest. I was like numb. This is fine. It's competently made.
It looks way better than
You
the other
can
ones.
tell what's happening. It's a little bit more fun than the Bay ones. Mostly because it's not 2 hours and 45 minutes, and there's not a bunch of weird gray spindly metal things smashing into each other.
Except at the end when that was all that was on
Nothing
screen.
about this was really stand out ish. Nothing stood out to me.
What about when Noah
Nothing
became-
overwhelmingly impressed me.
What about when he was Iron Man?
There's a weird, baffling decision that Sam just spoiled at the end. There's a bunch of weird decisions, but honestly, this I just okay. I was like,
This
whatever.
movie has
This is
no
fine.
like internal logic at all. They just
No.
constantly are making stuff up in the middle. Like as the movie goes on, Optimus Primal just keeps going, "Oh yes, and also this. Oh wait, I forgot to mention this thing."
It's a lot of the characters meet up, get chased around by the bad robots for a while, and then they reconverge.
and Optimus
describe-
Primal tells them another thing.
One of the Maximals tells them what the next part of the plan is. Then they go do that, and that fails. And then they regroup, and then he tells them what the next part of the plan is, and then they go do that. They fail. They regroup, and then at the end, a big tower shows up and shoots a sky beam that opens a portal, and then a bunch of alien spiders run out, and they have to shoot them.
Just nothing they did made sense in this movie.
It did not make sense. It's just like
I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, are you saying like the plot had no logic to it? Or
No,
are you saying,
the
like,
plot makes no sense at all.
Okay, in how?
Okay, so the Maximals don't have a planet anymore, right?
No, it got blown up or
They-
it got eaten.
They
by a
explained
Unicron.
to Optimus at one point, like,
Unicron's
we
the
made
villain,
this
kind of.
sacrifice. Yeah, we were like, we made this sacrifice. We're on Earth. Earth is our home now,
Yep.
right? But why didn't they just destroy the crystal when they got to Earth?
Because he made a solemn duty to guard the crystal with his life.
But why?
Because he said it to the other monkey who looks the same, and I couldn't tell apart.
Just break it, destroy it. You already broke it in half.
Why?
Just finish breaking it.
What were they saving it for?
Exactly. What were they saving it for?
It
They
seems
didn't
like
know-
no one wants to use it except for evil.
Well, Optimus Prime wants to use
Optimus
it to
Prime
go
wants
home.
to use it to go back to Cybertron.
But the Maximals,
But they didn't know them.
yeah, the Maximals
and
didn't
they've been
even
on
know
Earth
them.
for a couple hundred years.
So what were they keeping it for?
I don't know.
Why did they keep it?
In case Monkey
It
wanted
can-
to go somewhere else.
As far as they know, it can only be used to summon actual Satan. So why would you keep that around?
Yeah, just get rid of it.
Just destroy it.
I don't know. That's it. Yeah, that's a good point.
And it was made. It was made by the good guys, so they could travel. That's
I
how
guess,
they
yeah,
explain
yeah.
it.
It's a space bridge,
Yeah, it's a space bridge,
which is another thing in Transformers.
which they just
Which they
don't
don't
use
use.
any of the Transformers lore.
No,
But whatever.
they use whatever's
But the
convenient for
crystal was
plot.
made by the good guys. So how come when you assemble it, it builds a big evil lava fortress that spits out evil spiders?
I don't know why. It doesn't make sense at all.
Nothing in this movie.
No.
Why does it have a magic code that deactivates it that is only able to be inputted by a person who is very small?
Why is the console human size?
Exactly. Why is it human sized?
When the machine was built by big robot monkeys.
Why are there empty tubes that nothing go through that are just conveniently the right shape for humans
that
to walk
lead
in?
exactly to the console in the middle of the pit?
Like, are they vents? Vents for what? They don't breathe.
It's
They're
outside.
robots.
Yeah,
Nothing in this movie makes any. And at the beginning of the movie, when the Maximals escape Unicron eating their planet, they're holding the crystal with them while their ship is going through the portal. But later on in the movie, it has to sit there and spin to open the portal.
Yeah.
So, how does that work?
Yeah, let's just say this discussion is whole spoilers.
Yeah,
If you
everything
haven't-
is spoilers.
If you haven't seen the movie yet, you don't care. So
There's only really one spoiler, and it gets undone at the end of the movie.
yeah. Well, no, there's
two that both get undone.
let's just do that now. Let's just get it out of the way.
Up.
So at the very end,
And beginning. At the very beginning, Bumblebee is
oh,
killed.
talking about that. Yeah, they
lug his dead corpse around for the
that
whole
was
movie.
so funny to me
And then they find this
because
random.
they keep cutting to it.
They find this
They're- so-
random old man in Peru, and they're like, "Hey, do you have a magic couch made of rocks that can revive our friend?" And he
No,
goes, yes, we
Optimus
do have
Primal
one of
knows about
those."
it. There's no old man. Optimus Primal's like, this is all pure energon, and there's like a big just
Too
stove
bad
made of energon.
we can't activate
No.
it, so we'll just leave him here. I
Yeah,
guess.
at the beginning, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. They fake kill off Bumblebee, who's just to take, I guess, to have stakes. But,
it's to show how big and bad Scourge is.
they kill him, and so the whole movie, they escape to the alley after the fight, and they're just while they're talking about like their plan of what they're gonna do next, they cut to a wide shot, and Bumblebee's corpse is
It's just
just
chilling.
lying cold, flat in the center of like their little circle. They're talking, and his corpse is just lying there.
And they're like,
then
"Is there
later-
any way to bring him back?"
and
And,
then-
Optimus is like, "No, if we
he's
find this
gone."
thing, we can bring him back." And I'm like, "Okay, then how does anyone ever die in Transformers?
If they're completely like disintegrated,
They have to be melted down."
I guess he was just like drained of his energon or something.
He
or-
was stabbed with a sword as big as he is.
He's fine
through the chest.
He's fine. By the way, we saw this in the theater, and apparently,
Oh my gosh, should we review AMC
oh,
cinemas?
we went to an AMC. We went to the AMC at our local mall.
So funny how awful it was.
Which I learned as we were pulling up has 2 stars on Yelp, so that's always a good sign.
So we get there,
we
and
get
we
there.
go to pick up our tickets, and Tucker's like fiddling with the computer. It won't work. And then it prints out 2.5 tickets, and then the thing just goes ka-chunk and like pops out like a cartoon and falls open.
Like, not the ticket doesn't fall out, like the compartment.
Like the thing that prints the tickets
Like,
falls
fell
out of
out.
the machine.
yeah.
And then we go over to the guy and hand him our tickets. We're like, oh, this one didn't finish printing. And he's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
happens all
that's
the time.
whatever.
I was like, this happens all the time. What? And you didn't fix it? Okay.
By the way, their concession line had 2 lanes. One is for normies, and one is for the people with their membership club. Although they were both open. And if you were in the membership club line, I don't think they would have ever known. So I'm pretty
because
sure
they go to the same, like, snack bar.
pretty sure you could have just gone in the membership line.
And
So
the
what's
lines were
point?
like the same length.
No, they were the same. I don't know what the point was.
And so anyway, we go to get our concessions. And I wanted a pretzel. Pretty normal movie snack. I just want a pretzel. I asked the guy. Number one, it says on their menu that they don't have pretzels. And I was like, this kitchen's huge. They gotta have pretzels. I asked the guy, do you have pretzels? He goes, yes, we do have pretzels. And I was like, why on their menu does it say they don't? But whatever, I'll ignore that. Can I have 1 pretzels, please? He goes, what seat and what theater are you? I'm like, I don't know. So I go to Tucker, what seat, what theater are we in? Tucker goes, this one. I go back to the guy. I'm like, this is the seat, this is the theater. He goes, we don't deliver snacks to that theater.
Because we saw this in the IMAX screen.
And for some reason, they don't go in
For
there.
some reason, the main screen,
They don't deliver snacks.
They
Which
don't
is also
deliver
the
snacks.
closest to the snack bar.
yeah, it's literally the first one right there.
But he says, we don't do that. You can stand over there and wait for the pretzels. And I was like, you know what? Never mind. Can I just have popcorn instead? And he goes, popcorn instead of the pretzels? And I'm like, yes, that's why I said popcorn instead. And he goes and gets me a popcorn. And I was like, thank you. We go into the theater. Now, at this point, we're about 20 minutes late because we got there a little bit late.
Yeah.
We go into the theater. Screen is
all-
off.
All the lights are on in the theater. The
Mhm.
screen is off. They're not playing like the movie thing.
Not like ads like you normally
or
would.
ads.
And we're
It's just-
20 minutes late.
It's just turned off.
And so we go up to our seats, or before we go up to seats, there's a guy who's like, they turned the screen on. It's been whatever minutes past call. And I was like, no, the screen's not on. And so he goes and leaves. I guess he went to go talk to like someone. Anyway, we go to our seats. We're sitting there. We're
By the way, the seats are small and cramped and filled with weird stains.
yeah, because this theater is in a mall, it's on like the top story of the mall, so they can't put the new seats in because it's too heavy or the mall would collapse. So we're stuck with the like crappy early 2000s seats with the red felt and sticky stuff on the floor. And so yeah, we're sitting there. We're like, oh man, this is the best Transformers movie we've ever seen because it's off.
There's
That's the
nothing
joke.
happening.
Eventually they fix it and it comes back
Yeah.
on.
They
and
play the Mission Impossible
They play
trailer,
the last half of the Mission Impossible trailer,
and then the movie just starts.
which is fine because we got to skip the
Yeah.
ads, I guess.
So we saw this in IMAX. I'm doing quotes with my fingers because they said it was an IMAX screen. However, it was the size of a normal movie screen. It was not an IMAX screen.
The sound was good though. The sound was cool.
The sound was better than normal, but it was not an IMAX screen.
Yeah.
That was a lie. And then all the usual things you kind of expect happen. Someone brought in their noisy kid.
Oh, there was a little kid who was like, okay, so
Who
they had this
started-
Optimus Prime popcorn bucket you could buy, and he was like using it as a drum for like part of the movie.
Until one part of the movie scared him, and then he couldn't stop crying.
And his parents
freaking
had to
out.
drag him out
And
of
his
the
parents
theater.
had to drag him out of the theater. And then the people sitting behind us were apparently
They were really into it.
big Transformers
So
fans,
hyped.
which I learned exist for the first time. I didn't know anyone cared. One, I don't know what this is mean, but you shouldn't care that much about Transformers. You just shouldn't.
Ooh.
It's a toy line from the 80s that's just an advertisement. Like that's it. That's all it ever was. Why are you a fan
Optimus
of this
Prime
thing?
is my hero, okay.
No, but he was freaking out when they fake killed Bumblebee, and then when
And then they lost it when Bumblebee
when he
came
comes
back.
out of, they were clapping,
Because Bumblebee plays "Don't Call It a Comeback" on his radio
and then he
voice.
jumps out of an
and
airplane.
he jumps, and he becomes like Neo from. He's blasting
I
everyone.
love how he's really good at fighting in the third act, and then in the first act
he
like
died very
he
easily.
gets stabbed in the back and blown up after like 3 seconds.
Just a little weird.
Anyway, yeah, so apparently there are big Transformers fans, and apparently there's Beast Wars fans as well. And if you are a Beast Wars fan,
This movie is not for you.
there's Beast Wars characters in it.
Sort of.
They don't really do anything.
They're physically there.
Air Razor does the most.
Air
He's
Razor has the
Berg,
most
who's voiced by
dialogue.
Michelle Yeoh, which is funny that they got an Oscar winner to be in this.
And she was good.
She was fine.
Like, her performance was good.
And then Optimus Primal, his job is
fine.
basically just to walk around and explain things.
He just tells them the things they don't know.
And then what are the other? Cheetor, and
Cheetor
then
has one line of dialogue.
and then Rhinox.
Rhinox
is
does not have a
insane. I don't-
single line of dialogue.
Maybe he has he shouts something, but he does not.
No, I looked it up. He has no dialogue.
Yeah.
At one point, he runs up and screams. When they all like unite in the jungle, that's it. He does not say anything else the entire movie. And Cheetor has one line of
so
dialogue.
if you're a fan of Beast Wars characters, there's 4 in here.
2 of which have dialogue.
2 of them don't do anything, and 2 of them are kind of doing something, but Optimus Primal just kind of explains stuff.
I found out the one at the end who had the big hammer, that was Rhinox.
Who transformed?
Yeah.
At the end, he yells, "Maximize!" and then they turn into robots.
They all turn into human-shaped robots.
Which that was fine.
But if you have a gorilla form for fighting, why would you ever be the human form for fighting? Humans are like known to be worse at fighting than
He's
gorillas.
not a human, he's a big robot.
But it's a human shape.
So
if you were gonna fight, would you rather fight a man or a gorilla?
Does the man have a weapon?
No.
Pretty sure he has
Naked
like a
man.
big... Doesn't he have like a big...
He has like a sword.
Yeah, I mean, if he's got a sword...
Would you rather fight a man or a gorilla?
Probably the man.
Yeah, because you might win against the man.
Yeah, I mean...
you will lose against the gorilla.
I mean, he does stay in the gorilla form.
Would you rather
for
fight
95%
Would you rather
of the movie.
fight a cheetah or a man?
A man.
Exactly. So why would you ever transform into a man?
I guess if they need to punch.
How is punching better than eating
But
someone?
because the punching is how the kids play with the toys.
No, the kids just do whatever. The kids make up
No,
stuff.
it's weird that they chose to do Beast Wars, though. Because they don't really
The Predacons
do
are
Beast
not
Wars.
here.
They
Their
don't
enemies
even,
are not here.
They don't do They didn't do the Predacons.
Or the Decepticons.
Or the Decepticons. It's,
They were Terracons.
Terracons. We think they made up for the movie.
They did.
They
were
and
not...
even then, it's just Scourge is the villain.
Scourge is like the right-hand man of Unicron.
He's a Steppenwolf from Justice League. He does the same thing where he like communicates with him via big visions, where Unicron yells at him for sucking so hard, and then he threatens to kill him if he doesn't do what he wants. And then at the end, he's like, "No, Unicron, don't punish me. I did what I tried to do."
He's like if Starscream was the main villain of a Transformers
yeah,
movie.
except for he's randomly invincible for no reason.
Yeah, so they explain halfway through the movie, Optimus Primal is like, by the way, our enemies are powered by dark energy. Not dark energon, which is a thing that exists in the Transformers universe that makes you more powerful, that Unicron literally bleeds. They aren't powered by that. They're powered by dark energy.
Yeah.
Which is a made-up thing that makes you, and I quote, invincible.
For some reason.
Somehow. You just become
Except
invincible.
at the end when he isn't.
And when all of them are very easily killed.
Mm-hmm. He also has 2 sidekicks, but I don't even think they have names.
He has one that's got a jetpack but transforms into a car, even though she has wings.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another one who just transforms into a truck.
Yeah. They're all, basically all of them can just transform into whatever they want at any time.
Yeah,
which I don't like.
All the Transformers can do that, which is kind of weird.
Because, like, why would you not be an airplane?
Or a helicopter.
If you could choose to be an airplane,
Why
would you never not be an airplane? Why would you be a Chevy Camaro
I think maybe
and not an airplane?
I think some of them can only transform into airplanes and only transform into cars.
But they don't ever explain that, and they're constantly switching forms anyway.
Well, heck, one of them turns into an Iron Man suit.
The Terracons turn from planes into cars.
They do?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
I'm pretty sure there were planes at one point.
I think... No, I don't think any of them turn into planes.
Are they always cars?
I think Air Razor is the only one that like actually turns
she's
into
a
a bird.
She never maximizes.
The only one that's a plane.
She stays in bird
because
form
she
the
dies
entire
before
movie.
that part of the movie happens. I think the only one that turns into a plane is the big Irish one.
The Irish one.
Also, Wheeljack has like a Spanish, like a Hispanic accent, and the main
I don't
character
know what they
Noah.
did to Wheeljack here. He's the only one who looks like he is in one of the Michael Bay ones.
And also, he had a accurate
yeah,
version
he
in
looked
Bumblebee.
like Wheeljack in Bumblebee.
But in this one, he
And
looks
then
like
in
a
this one,
weird nerd.
He's just a completely different guy.
Yeah, and he has a Spanish accent, and the Noah character is like Hispanic, and he's like, "Yo, where did you come from, bro? Like, we got the same kind of way of talking." And the Wheeljack goes, "Bro, that's racist," and then leaves. And I was like, "What?"
He also
What
doesn't
what
do
you
anything
mean?
the whole movie. I don't know why he was even there.
Yeah, he contributes nothing.
That's my
to their
main
group.
problem with the movie. Is the characters. The main human guy is fine.
I actually think the humans
he
were
has an
handled
arc.
really well in this.
Optimus has a fine arc. Bumblebee's barely in it.
Optimus's arc is actually kind of
Optimus
bad.
Primal is kind of interesting. I like the part where He's like, I'm named after you, Optimus Prime, a great warrior.
Because okay,
And then
so-
he meets Optimus Prime, and he's like, this guy's freaking weird. What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, because at this point in Optimus's story, Optimus is like kind of a trigger-happy, crazy guy.
Why is he so mean?
I don't know. It's several points in the movie. He's like, "I'm going to kill you all."
In all of them, every live action
Every time they have a
Transformers
fight.
movie, he's just yelling about how much he wants to kill
In
everyone.
the Bayverse, he says we have to. He says the word "kill" 4 times throughout the whole Bayverse. In this movie, he says it almost every time they fight someone.
Every time the Terracons show up, he's like, I'm gonna rip out their spleen and feed it to their dead mother's corpse. It's like,
And
what
like
are you
in the
hold
final
up.
in the final fight where Optimus is fighting Scourge on the battle tower or like the space tower, he straight up puts his face in the lava and then rips his spine out like a Mortal Kombat finishing move, which is like it looks cool, but that's not Optimus is not supposed to be that guy.
I kind of get that he's like angry that Bumblebee died and he like feels like he let him down. That's fine, but it's weird how he's just constantly yelling about how much he wants to murder everybody.
It doesn't feel
Especially
right.
since we don't ever see him do any real leadership.
Yeah, he sucks at leadership in this movie.
He's just like the Transformers are like, okay, we got to do this to stop the guy, and we got to do. And Optimus is like, but I want to kill him.
Also, the fact that Optimus Primal is named after him. Okay, so the Maximals are from. Okay, so the crystal that can teleport you can also teleport you through time. The Maximals
It can?
Yes, the Maximals.
I don't think that's true.
Yes, because they said it goes through space and time. They said that several times. The Maximals are from the future, but they're not from Cybertron. They're from another planet that's like Cybertron, but a jungle where they are animals, but they still transform. Like they're still robots that transform, but they're from a different planet. But they still know that Optimus Prime exists, and so he goes. So then they travel back in time to Earth, and then they just wander around on Earth for like a few hundred years.
And they make friends with the humans.
That's why he says that I'm from your future and your past.
Oh, he does. Okay,
That's what that means.
because that line didn't make any sense.
Yeah, because he's from the future and then they time travel back to
I
Earth.
thought that they were just on another planet, and then they just teleported to Earth.
They are from another planet.
But
And
I
they
thought
did
it was
teleport to
present
Earth.
day.
No, they teleported back in time. That part takes place in the future. The part where they're on Jungle Planet. Then they use the crystal to teleport to Earth and also back in time.
Yeah, I thought the opening had just taken place hundreds of years ago.
No, that's in the future.
So Unicron's in the future,
Uh-huh.
and they're trying to bring him into the past.
Yes.
Okay, sure,
I
whatever.
mean, I guess he's also in the past too, but maybe he's asleep.
Yeah, generally the characters all around, Prime has an arc. I do like that they tried to tie the human characters and Optimus Prime's arc together.
Yeah,
and they tried to make them similar. Mirage is
Mirage is Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson. He's fine.
I thought he was
He was
actually
actually
pretty
kinda
good.
fun.
Yeah, I actually had fun with that character.
RC is there, and RC looks really good.
RC's fine.
She doesn't have anything to
Yeah.
do, and she has no character.
Everything about this just reminds me that Transformers Prime is the only good version of Transformers.
Wheeljack shows up, does nothing.
Just calls the main character racist and leaves.
Yeah, and then leaves. The main human.
How do Transformer races work?
Don't ask. Don't even.
Why is one
Nobody
of them
on Earth
Scottish
knows.
and the other one Hispanic? What? Do they have accents on Cybertron?
Stratosphere is the big plane.
Yeah, he's like an Irish warplane.
Yeah, I don't know. He's there, but I don't know why. He
just transports them around.
He just transports them around, and then at the end of the big fight, they get all the Maximals and they get all the Autobots
And he
together,
leaves.
and he just nopes out of
just
there.
leaves.
He's just like, I ain't helping. The main human girl. I didn't think she really had a point in being there.
She was just
Especially
there to
in
be
the
like,
third act. They were like, you input the disable code, and then the console gets blown up, and she has nothing to do.
She was important in the first part because she's like the researcher who's like discovering all this stuff.
Yeah.
But after they get to the temples and stuff, she doesn't really have much to do.
Here's what I would have done. I would have taken all her stuff, given it to RC, so RC has something to do.
No, because even her research ends up becoming useless.
Yeah,
because they
because she gets all the
they
symbols,
get the
but then they
crystal-
don't do
they
anything.
get, well, no, not that. They get the crystal out of the statue in the museum, right? Then she
Mhm.
starts doing research about it. She's like, oh, there's another one in this temple in Peru. So she takes all the Transformers to the temple in Peru, but the Maximals have already moved the crystal. And then they just tell them where it is. So they didn't need her at all because
Okay.
it wasn't even in the temple.
Here's what you do. I know they wanted to have a main female human character. Cut her out. Have Anthony Ramos' character take his little brother with him, because that's more interesting, and that ties it more into the story and the themes of the movie anyway.
Just have it be a sister?
No, have his little brother there.
I know,
the
but-
whole movie is about. It's not like they're appeal. Transformers doesn't appeal to female.
No, but I'm
female
saying if you
anyway.
want to have a female human character.
I'm saying no. Cut that out. Not just because it doesn't like work. Hey, have a little brother go with him, right? At the beginning when he's looking for a job, right? That's like his whole thing is he can't get a job. Have him. He's applying to be like the security officer at the museum, and he's going in like giving him a tour of the facility, right? And he spots the crystal and he notices it, right? And then later on, when he meets the Transformers,
Then he's like, oh,
he's like, I saw that at the thing, and then he's like, I'll help you get it.
Yeah, that makes way more sense.
And then
than
they
the
go
thing.
get the crystal from there, and then RC's like, well, since we've been hanging out on Earth for like 7 years or whatever, I've been researching their history. Because the Autobots have been hanging out on Earth since 1987.
Presumably
just
doing nothing. Like,
They've
literally
just
just
been
doing
hanging
nothing.
around. Optimus Prime, like they're not even together.
With the exception of Bumblebee, who had that little adventure with his girlfriend.
But that's it.
They've been doing literally
like
nothing.
Bumblebee's just been like watching Scarface for 7. Like
And
they've been doing
Optimus
nothing.
Prime is like weirdly racist for some reason.
Yeah, he does not. He's like he really hates the humans.
He's like, I know one was nice to you once, Bumblebee, but I don't trust
they
them
didn't
humans.
do anything to you, Optimus Prime.
Them flesh bags. I don't want them around. I don't want them hanging around
like
us.
this is like the first movie like in like the time like he's been like featured in. Like they haven't done anything to. He's just been around. Like that doesn't make any like if
They
like,
haven't done anything.
if there was a movie before this where like the humans had betrayed him and the military went after them and he thought they were all bad, like that makes sense.
I would at least give it a reason.
They've just been like driving around empty parking lots for 7 years and nothing's
and
happened
he
to
just
them.
became racist.
And he just really, he's a super racist for no reason. And then, so they get the key, and then RC's been like, oh, well, since I've been around doing nothing, I've been researching their history, so I recognize all this stuff. And that gives RC like a character and something to do. Because RC is here, but she's not doing anything.
Or, better yet, make the Maximals from Cybertron in the future. Just say Cybertron in the future became like a jungle. Sure, whatever.
That's, sure, whatever.
Have it so she's been like, I've been finding like signs of, Autobot activity on Earth from way before we
Let's
arrived.
go track down the Maximals.
That makes way more sense than.
And then we can get them in the
As
movie.
some dudes
And then we
were
can
here.
get them in the movie earlier and have them actually speak and do things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, they chose to do the dumbest.
No, they
version of
chose
everything we
to like the
described.
female character's fine. Elena's fine, but like they don't have other than just like look at symbols and tell them where to go.
She doesn't have a.
She
purpose
doesn't
outside of
do
that.
anything.
She's
and they can just have any character do
She's
that.
basically a GPS.
And I like the little brother.
I liked him a lot.
Little,
He was
cute
actually
little
cool.
kid.
Yeah, he's
Although
cute.
it took me out of the movie when he says I can't be. He's playing a Game Boy and he's like I can't be Bowser and I'm like I didn't Super the game. David, get your
Also,
facts
even
right.
in the game, you just jump on him once.
No, he's not in it.
I know. I'm saying in the game he is.
Yeah,
in.
yeah. You just go around.
You go around him and he dies.
Oh, the villain of Super Mario Land is a Wario. So that kid isn't. but like that ties into the themes of the movie more, and like she's inputting for the whole third act. She's just inputting code on the little screen
Into the like device,
and
that
then
eventually
he just
explodes anyway.
shoots it, and then she did all
And
of her work
they,
about it.
They
and nothing.
explain in the movie. Optimus Primal is like they ask him, "Why can't we just destroy the crystal?" And he goes, "Well, once it's been activated, it collects the energy of a dwarf star. It would blow up Earth."
It doesn't.
And then eventually, like later on in the movie, she tries to input the code, and the console gets destroyed. And they're like, "Well, we have to do it. We have to blow up the crystal." And now, the thing that they lose when they blow up the crystal also is that Optimus Prime now can't get back home. Like the Autobots can't return to Cybertron. That's like they can't do that if they blow up the crystal. So that's what the characters are losing. But since they told us it will blow up the Earth when they blow up the crystal, and then Earth doesn't explode and they blow up the crystal, why'd they even say that?
Yeah, it just feels like they tried to do too much. They wanted to reset the whole thing. They wanted to do a small scale transform Optimus Prime and like his squad thing, right? They wanted to do that. They wanted to do Beast Wars.
Oh,
are you getting a phone call?
Yeah.
Does that break the camera?
No, it's fine.
They wanted to do Beast Wars, and they wanted to do Unicron, who's like the biggest villain of the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're still getting.
No, I'm trying to text them.
And they wanted to do Unicron, and instead of like picking one and just doing that really well, they tried to do all three at once, so nothing feels like it was properly developed or paced out or like really like done extraordinarily well with a lot of focus.
Yeah.
Like they just like they did a third of each one. It's 1/3 Optimus Prime, it's 1/3 Beast Wars, and then it's 1/3 the Unicron story arc, which then of course leads into the very end of the movie. Unicron is trapped in the other galaxy. We've destroyed the key. We've saved the day. And then Noah goes to another job interview with the government. And the agent
This
goes...
part was so weird and
And the agent
dumb.
goes, you know, we could use a man like you. And he hands him a business card. The business card says G.I. Joe. And then the wall opens up. And it's a big warehouse that's
And they're building a
empty. And there's
spaceship.
just nothing in it. It's like they were gonna put like a big thing back there. And then they just didn't.
So dumb.
What the, like, it does, I guess we're doing G.I. Joe versus Transformers, Sam. It's finally happening.
Doesn't make any sense.
What I expected them to, because I didn't see the G.I. Joe thing coming.
No,
Because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for a couple reasons. One, every time they've tried to do G.I. Joe in the movies, it's flamed out. It didn't work.
Bomb.
They just tried to do Snake Eyes like 2 years ago. Bombed really hard. No one cared, right? They did the two before in like the 2010s.
Bombed.
Those didn't bomb. They made okay money, but like
No one cared.
that was a long time ago. And then the other reason is that the villain of this trilogy is a planet eater.
What does the G.I. Joe do
What
about
is
that?
the G.I. Joe gonna do about that? They're just dudes with guns.
They gonna nuke him? You gonna nuke Unicron?
What is Snake Eyes gonna do to Unicron? Hit him with a sword?
Give him the flu.
That doesn't... He's a robot! That doesn't make any sense. What are the G.I. Joe gonna... They're useless. They're just gonna show up. And it's weird. I think they haven't set up any of the G.I. Joe characters in anything. So no one is cast.
And they didn't,
So we're just gonna
they didn't
bring-
Even, they didn't even have a G.I. Joe guy like.
No, it was just
introducing-
a dude.
It was just some bald guy.
Yeah. Like, I thought they were going to bring out John Cena's character from Bumblebee, who's like a military general.
And have him be the G.I. Joe guy?
He didn't even have to be G.I. Joe. I thought he would just be the military guy and it'd be like a fun link in between the movies. Even if it was G.I. Joe, you'd be like, oh, okay.
Sure.
His character, after he dealt with all the Decepticons and the Transformers, the military was like, we're gonna move you to G.I. Joe. And he's G.I. and that's fine. And he's one of the G.I. Joe guys. And then we can set up, okay, we're doing G.I. Joe and John Cena's gonna lead the thing, right?
That all
would
makes
make
sense.
But no, it's just a dude. And he has an empty warehouse,
has a warehouse
with maybe a
spaceships in it.
spaceship in it that he got from somewhere. G.I. Joe doesn't even have any spaceships.
Don't even go to space.
They're just a military squad.
They fight.
They just
Cobra.
drive jeeps and shoot guns.
Cobra is just like random bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, half the time Cobra's plans are not even like inherently evil. They just like want to take over like a gas station or something. Like they're like the least threatening
Like
villains.
the G.I. Joe and the Transformers are like not compatible. Like what? The Transformers gonna help G.I. Joe beat Cobra? Is Cobra a real threat to Optimus Prime? A man who could step on Cobra Commander with ease? What are they doing? Why are they doing this? Whose idea was this? Other than brand synergy. Or we're gonna get two of our biggest brands, although one of them isn't very big and no one cares.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gotta. This would be like if at the end of Iron Man 1, like James Bond comes up. He's like,
Welcome to
"Welcome
the
to the
British
British Secret Service." I'd have been like,
What?
huh? It's just so bizarre.
And it comes out of nowhere.
It just
like,
happens.
Every other Transformers movie has like a military subplot where like the military's there. This is the only one without that. There's no military stuff. So it's weird that this would be the one where they decide to throw in the Elite Military Squad franchise crossover at the end.
I guess they just wanted to have like a shield agency and just chose G.I.
It's
Joe.
just G.I. because that's the one they have the
that's
rights
what they
to, and that's
own.
what people know. But like G.I. Joe has like all the characters in it.
G.I. Joe's not like a secret ops unit.
No, they're just like a military.
They're just like regular.
force.
They're basically just the army with a different name.
They're army, but they get to wear colorful outfits.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's it. That's the only difference. The main character of G.I. Joe
Is like a guy.
is named Duke. He's just a normal army man. He wears like beige.
He wears like a brown like beret and like camo pants.
That's it. He's just a military guy. And they're gonna fight Unicron.
I mean, even if they're-
Duke from G.I. Joe is gonna fight Unicron. That'd be like if Maria Hill was the big wild card in fighting Galactus.
even if you like remove it from that, if they're not even fighting Unicron, like they're just fighting a regular Decepticon. Like let's say Duke is fighting Soundwave.
Soundwave shows up,
He's still just gonna step on him and he
Soundwave
dies.
pokes him really hard, and he implodes.
He just goes dunk and his head flies off. Heck, what's the little dog one that like comes out of Soundwave's tape recorder?
well, yeah. I don't remember. His
Just
name.
send that thing after
It'll
him.
kill him.
That
By the
was
way, too many scenes in this movie are just
yeah, they didn't
the
have
two
any.
human characters being chased around by a big cyborg dog.
The Scourge is like the laziest villain ever.
No, yeah,
he
he
never wants to hunt
never
anyone
wants to
down.
do
He
anything.
just sends his little spiders after them.
And then he fails, and he's like, "Gosh darn
And
it,
the
they
spiders
got
are like
away."
super weak. Like at one point they're defeated by like a piece of like a brick that a guy picks up. Like they're not powerful at all.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another part that was funny. At the very beginning when one of those little spiders like busts right through like a mahogany wooden door.
Yeah.
And then in the same scene, like 3 seconds later, cannot break through a regular glass door.
That's all. Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know what they're. This movie is not doing as well as. Oh, by the way, I can show you the chart. I can show you where it is on the
Oh
chart.
yeah, let's bring up the chart.
That's not really the chart. It's really board. So.
Oh yeah, we got Spider-Verse on there too now.
It's at number 5. It's at number 5. Fast X number 4. Spider-Verse 3. Little Mermaid 2. Guardians 3. Spider-Verse is going to.
Careful with the
I don't
TV.
know. Is probably going to pass Little Mermaid. Either this upcoming week or the week after. Meaning that I believe that you were wrong, Sam. You had Little Mermaid above Spider-Verse.
Well, I
had
mean,
Spider-Verse
either way, it's way above where we thought it
But
was going to
Spider-Verse might end up making more than Guardians. There's a good chance Spider-Verse is going to be the number 1 movie this summer, which was
That's
not even close to
crazy.
either. I had it at. We both had it at 6. And
Yeah,
there's a
because
good
it
chance
was
it'll be
animated.
one.
I thought it wasn't going to like
Yeah.
pop off that much.
But Guardians 3 is still number 1. Little Mermaid is holding okay, but it probably won't even break even because the international box office is so low, despite it doing pretty well domestically.
I mean, most people don't even
Fast X is sinking like a rock, and they already put it on digital,
Yeah, it came out on digital
3
I think,
weeks
like,
after
a few days
release,
ago
which is faster than F9 did, and F9 came out in 2020.
during COVID.
Yeah, so that was absurd. Transformers number 5. Neither one of us had Transformers on our list.
I think it's because we just both forgot Transformers existed.
I was thinking like no one would care at this point, which no one really did. This one opened.
I think it'll overtake Fast
this one
X, though.
opened the lowest of all of them, so except for I think Bumblebee. I think it opened higher than
Well,
Bumblebee.
because Bumblebee was like kind of a smaller
Yeah.
movie.
It'll probably end up making more than Bumblebee, but this one also cost a lot
Way
more.
more.
But they're moving in the right direction. They're just not moving very fast with the Transformers IP,
Yeah, you know what? Transformers are like the Pokemon of movies.
where it keeps making money, but they refuse to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the fans all know what they want, and the fans keep telling them exactly what they want, and they keep almost making it and then not doing it at all.
I like the cast, I like the director, I like the voice cast. The visual effects are pretty good, but just it's the scripts. The scripts are
story
just really
was
bad, and
god-awful.
they need to come up with something else there's a space rock with magic powers, and we need to get it.
Just watch Transformers Prime and do the exact same thing.
Transformers Prime
word for word.
was smart in that it has like 5 central characters.
Yeah.
and a couple other ones weave in and out throughout
And
the show.
they all have a role.
But it's always like the core 5, and they don't move away from that. Like that's what they need to do with the Transformers.
And they all have very well-defined personalities and well-defined roles within the group.
Yeah, I know there's a million Transformers characters, and everyone has their favorite, but they just need to pick 5, and those are the guys, and that's who we roll with.
You need a big Chungus who smashes
We have
stuff.
Optimus. We have Bumblebee.
You need a leader.
Those two don't move.
Yeah,
There's
those two
always
always
Optimus
stay.
and Bumblebee, but you need a heavy hitter,
a medic,
a medic, a
and
nerd,
a stealth guy.
and a girl.
Yeah. Well, they didn't really have a nerd one in
That's
Prime.
kind of what they didn't really, but you could do like that's
Yeah,
a
that's one you
basic
could
role.
have. Well, they had the human character. The human
characters were the nerds.
The bees sidekick
Yeah.
was the nerd.
By the way, they fake kill off Mirage at the end of this also.
Yeah, and then rebuild him
And then
like
rebuild him
5
anyway.
minutes later.
Which how does that even work?
Yeah, because okay, the stuff that
Oh, also the
Transformers are
Iron
made
Man
of.
suit is really dumb. At the end, Mirage becomes an Iron Man suit for Noah. It's really stupid. Looks really bad. Don't know why they did it.
It looks
Just
awful.
Don't do it again.
Really bad.
Don't do it again. Stop.
But
Also, why can they do that? Why can the Transformers do that?
why haven't they ever done that before? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I know why you wouldn't do it before. It's because that would be stupid.
Why
Why
was
would you
Sam
choose to make
Witwicky-
yourself tiny?
Yeah. Well, like, why did no one ever become an Iron Man suit for Sam Witwicky in the original Transformers films?
Or like give him a gun.
Yeah, they can just shoot a piece off of them. and
Yeah,
it
he
turns
just
into
like
a
ripped
gun.
a chunk off his like body and was like, "Here, have a gun."
That'd save a lot of time.
And that like gives the humans.
Maybe
like,
it's because they
something
wanted
to-
him to die. I wouldn't be shocked if they wanted Sam Witwicky to die.
Like they just all hated him.
Yeah, they were just like, please,
We just need to get rid of this guy.
some Decepticons, one of you hit him.
Come on, someone drop a rock on him.
But Cade Yeager, they would never let Cade Yeager die. I'm just saying.
They didn't do the Matrix of Leadership
He's an
or
American
the.
hero.
To be fair, the old
Yeah, I love that Optimus tries to sacrifice himself at the end, and he's like, "Bumblebee, lead the Autobots," but he doesn't give him the Matrix of Leadership.
I don't think that exists in this universe.
They never mention it. I don't think they
And
mention Orion.
Was that in the original show, or was that just a Transformers Prime?
No, that wasn't the original show. They mention Primus or whoever the original Primus.
They do say Primus,
but they don't ever mention the Matrix of Leadership. I don't think.
But Primus is Cybertron.
Whoever the original Prime was, they mention him.
The original Prime was Primus, and him and Unicron would like just fight forever. And then eventually Primus made the other 12 primes.
Yeah, the Matrix
And
of Leadership
collectively,
is in the original.
They were able to
thing.
defeat him, Unicron, and then Primus transformed into Cybertron, and the primes like started this society.
Yeah, I think it was introduced in the Transformers the movie from the 80s, the Matrix of Leadership, because Optimus dies in that and gives
and they
it
used
to what Rodimus Prime or whatever his name is.
the other one that looked exactly
The one who
like
turns
him.
into like a
It was like a
camper
little
van.
bit taller.
Yeah, he sucked. Anyway, would you recommend Transformers: Rise of the Beasts?
No
No.
bad movie.
If you like Transformers, if you
But
like,
watch the other ones.
no, I say this is better than the other ones.
I think they're like the same.
If you like the Transformers movies, you'll like this. If you don't, this will know.
Yeah, if you
change your
already
mind.
like the Transformers movies, this one's like a slight improvement in the fact that you
Yeah.
can see what's going on.
and it's shorter and it's a little bit more fun. The
but
characters
from a
are a little more
story
likable.
perspective, it's
Yeah, it's just as it's just as
really
it's the
bad.
same. Like they didn't change the story, which is
the original
Like,
have a
the
big
action
magic
was
space teleportation crystal?
pretty much. I'm pretty sure it is a space bridge in one of them.
No, they just like fly to Earth. They just like land.
Every one of the Transformers movies has a magic rock with some special Cybertron power that they need to get.
Yeah.
Like the first one, it's like a cube.
Not in Transformers Prime though.
Nope.
It's the only good one.
Yeah, yeah.
Although Optimus did give the Matrix of Leadership to a human child, which I don't think that
doesn't
would have
make any
done
sense.
anything. I mean, I guess he can like hold it, but like, what does he do with that?
I don't know. Anyway, that's Transformers, and that's the show. Thank you for
Thank
watching
you for checking it out.
and listening, everybody. We are, of course, available on YouTube at the McDonCast. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts at the McDonCast. We will be back next week to talk about The Flash, Sam. Finally.
We will be doing our big
The
Flash.
Flash.
episode. We're gonna be talking about the whole
We're
history
going to
of
go all the
Flash.
way from the history of the movie into the movie itself. I can't wait to talk about it. It'll be a lot of fun.
That was going to be this week's episode, but then there was way too much gaming news. And
yeah,
weren't
we
able to
didn't
do
have
that.
time, and we saw Transformers. All right.
But next week it will be crazy. We'll see y'all
Flash
later.
time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.